Thanks to Nutacon for the subscription. Welcome to the Tuesday show. My name's D. Ultra D.
I didn't even
David.
see that. You're D Ultra D? D Ultra D?
I used to play as DJ Ultra D. That's my name on Pokemon Red Blue back in the day.
DJ Ultra
DJ Ultra D.
Why DJ?
I don't know.
Well,
I was like 13.
When I remixed music for all my combo videos, I called myself DJ Chensor.
Okay,
so.
well, there's at least more reason for you to do that than there was for me. Anyway, welcome
now,
to the Tuesday show.
Like I said, now my DJ name is JC Nile, right?
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah, So, there you go.
All right.
Okay.
So, we're going to be talking about various things today. It turns out that there is a ton of stuff to talk about.
Yeah. Not even just like game news stuff, but just stuff happening.
A lot.
There's a lot of stuff happening.
Somehow.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking at first about these results that are up here, NEC, Red Bull Japan Saga, and more. We'll talk about the World Tours. Basically all of them. Because basically all of them are wrapped up.
Hey, woo! Shout out to Tap2GG. But yeah, we're going to talk about those results because they affect the World Tour stuff.
The biggest news is the World Tour stuff, but to get there, we got to talk about the tournaments.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting stuff on 5-5 that has just become basically let's talk about weird things. So
yeah,
we're going to be talking about
less about debate, but just us talking about the crazy matchups of the FGC.
Weird stuff. We'll talk about Tom Brady, and then we'll talk about Guilty Gear as well as viewer questions, some of which were quite interesting, I felt. We will talk about other game news as well.
I haven't seen the viewer questions yet, so I will have real-time reactions. And yes, I am looking much younger all of a sudden.
You shaved a little bit.
Yeah, I cut my hair, shaved, and went home because I went to go see my parents. And I'll clean up for them. So,
all right, fair enough. Well, let's start, like we said, by talking about tournament results.
Okay.
All right, so this past weekend in the United States of America was Thanksgiving. That was Thursday, and then the weekend of Thanksgiving, that follows Thanksgiving, is very commonly like a holiday weekend that people take. You know, maybe you spend it with your family or doing something, right? NEC was this weekend, and it's a bit of a bummer that it was this weekend, but I understand why they put it here. They're trying to find a weekend that doesn't have like the Capcom Cup on it or the Tekken World Tour Finals on it, and it can't be Christmas. That's even more of a no-no than Thanksgiving. So they had like just a couple weeks to choose from, and this was the one that they picked. So unfortunately, much less well attended than other NECs. Put up best of 5, everybody. Typically, NEC is well attended, right? It's quite big. This weekend was not really the case, but you know, that's not really NEC's fault. It was just them trying to find a weekend that things would work. Yeah, and it was unfortunately one that is. I couldn't go, for example, right? Like I would have loved to have gone to the MK Pro Competition thing there, but it was Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I mean, this coming weekend, obviously the Tekken World Tour Finals.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then Capcom Cup.
Yeah, what about last weekend though? Last weekend could have been.
Last weekend was 3 things. Remember, it was
that's right.
Super busy last weekend.
Right.
Anyway, look, that's how it ended up. So there were about 400 people there. Is what I heard. The biggest one there, the biggest game there was Mortal Kombat 11, and that makes sense because it was the last chance to get points on the Mortal Kombat Pro competition.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was very stacked in terms of the players there. Winner of it was CGL Ninja Killa.
Nice,
Ninja Killa 212, who mostly played Johnny Cage.
Yep. Yeah, he was using a top tier character. And second place, also using top tier character.
Echo Fox Sonic Fox.
That's right.
With Collector.
Yep. Well, he said his
top 5.
He called it top 5.
According to Fox, maybe top 5. Look, Fox. We've talked about this before. Fox always has funky opinions when it comes to tiers because this is my view. If you're somebody who can win a tournament with every character, then you think every character can win a tournament, right? It's very circular. It makes total sense.
Wait a minute, when I use this character, no one can beat me.
Right.
Clearly, this character is top 5.
100%. I really think that's what's going on in their brain. But I do think Collector's underrated. I do think Raiden's underrated, which Fox has also said is extremely good, right? It's just, you gotta take Fox's opinion with like a bit of a grain of salt, I feel.
Right. Underrated, sure. Top 5, maybe not.
Maybe not, but pretty good for sure.
Because his top 5 rating is gonna be like Raiden, Collector,
it's gonna be the weirdos for sure. Anyway, But, congrats to Fox. They stuck with Collector, which is pretty cool, even though Ninja Killa ended up winning that grand final set 3-0. It was a blow-up.
Yeah.
But,
was not Ninja Killa using the new Johnny Cage variety?
I think he used Showstopper, if I recall correctly, right?
Nice.
I think that's what it was.
Okay.
Third was actually Strella Arn Kratos.
Who I heard was like a brand new player from Russia or something like that?
From Russia. He signed up for the Brazil Game Show, but I think didn't end up actually playing.
Right,
So I think this was his first major outside of Russia.
Right.
And even in Russia for like online events, he's gotten like second place. He's like they're like online Eastern Europe stuff, and he came to the US, to the hardest region for MK, and NEC, which, like I said, was stacked, and he got third. He got third in it. So super congratulations to him. That's amazing.
Is Russia the Pakistan of Mortal Kombat?
You know what I mean?
Hey, that one player qualified for that Injustice tournament that one time, clearly through his own merits, right?
That's right. Well, there was a player who was playing.
Okay.
It wasn't the guy who came.
So someone in Russia was clearly
human was playing. Yeah. That's right. No, there is a good scene there. But even within that scene, Arn Kratos has not been the guy who's been doing the big stuff. It's been like the basic and stuff. But anyway, congrats to Arn Kratos. That is super awesome.
Yeah.
Super
who does he use?
He played Shang Tsung only.
Oh, dang. Okay. Nice.
Yeah. Very cool. Kombat got 4th, and Samij got 5th. And
yeah, see, these are all not just pushovers.
Then other 5th was Splash, who also finished 5th last major. Dragon and Scar were 7th. Rewind, Gerd, Deoxys just outside of that. Like, it was, again, a very, very stacked event.
Because this was the last chance for a lot of people to get the points.
Yes, and some of that was extremely important in terms of how that ended up. We'll talk about this in a bit. But as a result of this, Kombat and Samij tied in points overall. And if you want to find out who got the tiebreaker, then stick around for the rest of the Tuesday show. Oh, no, it was...
Don't tell them yet.
No,
Save
okay.
it for later.
All right,
Come
fine.
On, yeah.
Okay.
Save it for later.
It's a big...
Yeah.
We'll wait.
It's not out on the internet. It's all over the place, I'm sure, right? Not everybody can just look it up right now.
Exactly, yeah. But yeah, no, really, I mean, the points really did matter from this. And a lot of fun to watch. Cool to see that Collector doing work. Soul Calibur 6 was won by skill with Mitsurugi, and then Blue God as well got second, then Link Wars. I watched a bunch of Soul Calibur Top 8.
Oh, okay, because it was the new one,
right? So it's Season 2 now. I had a blast watching it. I like watching Soul Calibur, right? It's a fun game to watch and play. But the changes that they put in there, new moves, new combos you see people are doing.
New system mechanics.
New system mechanics, right? And very interesting to see, like, already Skill has, like, the thesis of how to put this all together. Like, it's very cool.
Okay.
He was fast about it, so that was really awesome to see. Tekken 7 was won by Sour Piggy. Fighting GM got second. Samurai Showdown by Chris G. Sonic Soul got second. And then Smash Ultimate by Ninja, Andy second. Max Euclays with Aegislash won Pokken Tournament.
Okay. In Smash. Okay,
Smash. Yeah. Dragon Ball by Sonic Fox. BB Tag by Grover. I watched a bunch of BB Tag as well.
Oh, yeah, okay.
I mean, it's
new
same kind of thing, right?
Yeah,
new characters are doing work in there. So Grover won it with Adachi, also Mitsuru Adachi.
Okay.
So Adachi figured big because Afro Thunder got second. He played as Hazama Adachi. Weiss Hilda got third. That's played by Meza. Like, all the new characters are, like, actually figuring in. Very cool to watch.
Nice.
SF5 by Ricky Ortiz. Dang, I didn't watch that one.
Oh, dang.
Shoutouts to Ricky. That's so sick.
Yeah, I didn't even see that one. Okay.
Tega got second. Third Strike by Frankie. All right. DOA by Lord Savior. They had a Power Rangers tournament, and Sundula won it with Magna Defender, Cenozoic Blue Ranger, and Goldar.
They don't have one of the games listed there, which is Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Okay.
Because I just wanted to give a shout-outs to Wave Chan.
Okay.
She got second place.
Oh, no way!
Yeah,
wow.
She got second place at the tournament. So
big congrats.
Yeah, so shout-outs to Irene. She's the one who always does all the cat versions of games and stuff like that. She's always at all the anime conventions selling all the fighting game stuff. So shout outs to her.
That's so cool. Okay.
Yeah.
And then Temple Nut won KOF 14. So again, not the most heavily attended tournament ever, but it's Thanksgiving weekends to be expected. Just a bummer of a timing for it. like I said, that really did make a difference for the MKPK, though. We'll talk about that in a bit. Another tournament that had a big impact on the Mortal Kombat Pro competition, just to go with that, was DreamHack Winter 2019.
No, but it sounded like everybody went to NEC, though, huh?
Well, that's true, but the Intercontinental Combat, which was a process that you had to qualify for, by doing other things.
Gotcha.
So the Intercontinental Combat Finals were there, and winner of that was guaranteed a spot in the Mortal Kombat.
Gotcha, right. So
Finals.
You couldn't enter this tournament. You had to qualify for this tournament.
That's exactly right.
Got it.
So that was won by Nivik, by LOK Nivik with Jackie, and that is a big surprise, honestly.
Really?
Nivik is a good player and has done really well in the past. Like, he's qualified for big things in the past.
I mean, I've heard the name before.
Sure. Yeah. But in MK11, he has honestly not done that well.
Okay.
Like, really has not had great results.
Okay.
But he won this thing over players like Foxy Grandpa, who got second. Waz was in there.
But Foxy Grandpa's already qualified, right?
Yeah, he is. He is. And so was Dizzy, who's also in there. But yeah, Waz got third. Video Game Zero got fourth. And Shark Teeth and Sekron. And then Dizzy and Dubase.
Oh, dang. That is a lot of really strong players there. Yeah, okay.
So, yeah. Huge congrats to Nivik for doing that. As a result, he's going to be in the
And who was he?
Mortal
You
Kombat
said
Finals
Jackie,
with
right?
Jackie.
Okay. Yeah.
Not really a character that I feel like I would have expected Nivik to be good with, because I feel like typically he's like a mid-rangey kind of dude, and Jackie's like really in there, but he played great. It was really cool to watch.
Nice.
Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was won by Leffen. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate was won by Leffen.
The game that...
A man who literally in that tournament was talking on Twitter about how just playing the game was like torture to him.
Right, because it
like
was so
torture.
No strategy. Oh, yeah.
But he won the thing. I mean,
look, you can be good at games that you don't necessarily enjoy.
That's true. That's true.
And in fact, you might be, because you understand it at that such unfun level, that you can take advantage of it more than other...
Don't you also think, like, come on, dude. Like, you don't hate it like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not your favorite game. That's clear. But is it torture? Come on. You played this thing. You didn't need to enter. You could easily not have entered.
Right. If it's that much torture, you don't have to travel to go to someplace and play. Yeah.
It was in Sweden, his home country, right? So maybe not big travel, but still. He played Pokemon Trainer, Terry, and Joker. Cool dude. Mr. R got second with Chrom and Young Link. Then, that's it, I guess. Doubles was Orion and PEW. Okay. Anyway, there you go. So big tournament in Jönköping, Sweden.
Wait, is Leffen actually in a Unis tournament? I don't know.
Is he playing Unis?
I don't know. Sure. Someone in the chats mentioned someone.
Yeah, Leffen is a super talented player. I really think that guy is just like amazingly talented. And it's not just in Smash, which I feel to win in Smash is really hard because there are so many players. There's clearly a lot of skill in those games. So I'm always really impressed. But then, whenever I've seen him play Marvel, Dragon Ball, whenever I've seen him play, he's super good.
So people in the chat are saying that he just started learning today.
Cool.
So he was playing apparently earlier.
Yeah, I mean,
Punk won a Unis tournament.
Punk won Unis? I don't know.
Wait, was it listed on the NEC stuff?
It was not.
I think he won it at NEC.
Okay, wow.
I think Punk won it.
They had a Street Fighter tournament and he didn't make top 8? Did he not enter it?
I don't know.
Really?
So did he not make top? Did he not enter at NEC? Maybe he just didn't enter because he wants to save his
I didn't even see his
stuff. Name. Oh, he didn't enter. There you go.
Very funny. Okay, well, congrats to him.
He didn't want to enter. He wanted to focus on the Unis.
On Unis, right. Well, for both of those players, I really think those are two guys who could just do well at anything.
Yeah.
Whatever game they want to be good at, they'll do it. That's fine. Punk has also said that after Capcom Cup ends, he's going to be playing Mortal Kombat, and he wants to win the last chance qualifier for the MK Finals.
When is the MK Finals?
It's in March. It's a long time.
Okay. So wait, but the last tournaments for
it's
seeding
weird.
is okay.
Yeah.
So you get the seeding and then you wait 4 months.
Yes.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Yeah, that's how it's happening.
Just wanted to make sure.
I don't know what to tell you. It's in March. Yeah, I don't know if there's any more details than that, but it is in March. Nope.
Stay away from the hot sauce.
So more tour stuff to talk about. The Red Bull Japan Saga was happening over the weekend for Dragon Ball FighterZ.
To find out who... Oh, that one. Yeah. Okay.
So this was a little funky because it was capped at 128 people. It was a one-day event as well. It was very fast. So that's a little unfortunate. I did hear about people who wanted to enter who didn't or couldn't because it had already been capped. But that's how it went down. The winner of this was ASM Wawa.
That's right. Yeah,
Wawa
I actually got to see a bunch of this.
Okay.
Yeah, and I obviously, there's no hiding the fact that both of us have been kind of down on the game and stuff. But like I watched it and it feels like it's kind of hit a stride. Yeah. It feels like it's hit a good point, and I really enjoyed watching it this weekend. Cool. So I had a good time.
Yeah, the last time I watched it was when Fox and Goichi played in whatever tournament it was recently. Yeah. And like I said at the time, I feel like it was better than I remembered it. So it was
But Wawa was playing out of his mind, man. I mean, he was playing. So he got sent to losers by Kazunoko, but then he just came back, and I think it was like a 6-1 in grand finals versus him.
3-1, 3-2.
Oh, okay. It was closer than that then. Okay. But Wawa was just playing super out of his mind. He was playing super well. So I'm really proud of him. He's like 16 years old or something.
Is he that young?
Or something. He was talking about how like I forgot where they were. I was either read this on Twitter or somewhere, but like, his parents were like, "Oh, okay, we'll support you," and like they're helping him out with that kind of stuff. So
wow,
I think that's really cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Second place was Kazunoko, then Fenrich, then the Kill Sage got 4th. Taco and Supernoon 5th, and 7th were Obi Assassin, and Dogra.
Yeah, but thanks to that, obviously, some very important also DBFZ tour standings updates as well.
Correct, which we will get to in a bit. There was another tournament, the Ronin Rumble. Did you get the results for that?
Yeah, I did, but I forgot to put it in the document.
Oh, that's all good, as long as you got some.
Did I close them? Oh, here they are. Yes, here they are. So, Jeff the Hero has been running the online Samurai Showdown tournaments every weekend. Oh, not every weekend, but many weekends. This was the 17th one already. Wow. So he's been doing this for quite some time. Okay. Dude, it's taking a toll on him.
Is it really?
Look, it's hard, dude. You gotta do it every week, but this one was a special one, and the winner of this one was an official qualifier to the China qualifier into the SNK World Tour. Basically, that's taking place this weekend.
That's this weekend?
That's this weekend. So after whoever won, they had that little turnaround time to make sure they can get to China.
Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah, and I got to help commentate the top 8 for that. It was front paged on Twitch.
Oh, no way.
It got like it capped out at like 6.1K viewers or something like that.
That's so cool. Congrats.
Yeah. That's so awesome, Jeff was really happy about that. Yeah, he was really, really cool. He was really happy about that. Oh, there are 2 in China this week. Yeah, all the qualifier stuff in China are all like in China, and like all the ability to qualify for those events are only in China. So the fact that, this was one of the U.S.'s opportunities to get there, but the winner, SNK, is paying the flight and everything that out there for them and everything like that.
Okay.
So, yeah, definitely can.
So it was Diddy Mokoff who took it?
So Diddy Mokoff took it over Lord Jimmy Bones. Lord Jimmy Bones made it to winners finals on the grand finals on the winner's side.
Okay.
But Lord Jimmy Bones, I think, is just a kind of a player who gets in his own head. And Diddy Mokoff just started feeling it. And then as soon as that happened, you could just kind of see it. Oh. This one was the 6-1 I probably was thinking of. Yeah.
It was.
3-0, 3-1. 3-0, 3-1. So Andy OCR took 3rd. 4th place was Dustin, who actually sent Andy OCR to losers, but then Andy OCR won the run back.
Who's Dustin?
Dustin, I asked where he's from. They said he is from parts unknown.
No, that's so cool.
But he's always been playing in the Ronin Rumble, and he's very, very good.
Okay.
He's very, very good. So 5th place was Space Detective and Lude Stairs, who was a Woo player, but it's LUWUD,
Okay.
But he's like a people's champion because he was using Woo, and he's like the best Woo out there, basically. And then 7th place was Zook and Kochori. But as a result, that means that Diddy Mokoff is going to be going to China now. So
Congrats to Dimokov. That's very cool.
And the tournament they're going to play in has some interesting rule sets, as we've discovered today. And he tweeted them out. No. He checked it out, and it's single elimination. There's 8 players in this tournament. Single elimination. So he could go to China, lose 2 out of 3, and that's it.
That's a long ways. It's a long ways.
Yep. It does change to 3 out of 5 later on in the bracket, but it's still single elimination. So that is, that is.
Well, good luck to him.
I know. Hopefully that doesn't happen. So there you go. So that was this past weekend.
Right, and then another thing that I wanted to talk about, although it was not a tournament, was Knee going to Pakistan.
Yes!
Knee went to Pakistan. And, of course, this coming weekend is the Tekken World Tour Finals.
Mm-hmm.
So Knee went there to train up, right? And he had a lot of really good results, okay? 15-5 over Arslan Ash, for example. He beat everybody else he played on this list, that I'm seeing.
The only person he lost to I know of was the Steve player out there.
Right, the Steve player, yeah. John, I think. The John, if I recall correctly.
I thought it was like Why something or other. Shoot, I forgot the name. Yeah, Hira, that's what it was.
Yeah, Hira and the John.
Are 2 of the sets that he lost.
Yeah,
then.
I think that might have been the only 2.
Yeah, because the thing about it is, like, we're talking about how he beat most people, right? But what we're not expressing enough is that he won about, 150 games in those sessions, sitting there, first to 5, first to 5, first to 5, first to 10, first to 10, first to 5, first to 10, first to 5, first to 5, first to 10. Like, just sitting there the whole time. That is
a old school arcade grinder.
That's what mental endurance.
That's somebody who's been doing it exactly that way for 20 years, right?
And it's funny
so
too, because someone on my stream asked me, it was like, how does Knee do that? Like, how do you even do that? And I was like, when you've played the game that much, when you know every situation so much, it doesn't create the exasperation. It doesn't create the panic. And so you're probably kind of just calm the whole time. So, you're playing he knocked me down. It's this mix-up. Here we go. Right. Oh, I got it right. Whatever. And you don't use as much energy. And in fact, some of those matches that he 5-0'd, he probably kind of sleptwalked through parts of those. You know what I mean? I would imagine so. So, you can sit there for hours. Vi used to do that at Southern Hills Golfland all the time.
Didn't we all used to do that?
Yeah.
That was, for sure, that's exactly how I remember playing back in the day. I would play for 10 hours, of course.
That's how my friend got Pong Combat on MK2.
What?
Did you not know about Pong Combat? This is the are you fooling me this time, dude?
Right, yeah.
So in MK2, I think it's 50 wins. If you get 50 wins in a row, it unlocks Pong Combat, in which the 2 players actually play Pong on the game.
Really?
Yes.
That's very funny. No, I had no idea.
Yeah, they just kind of... That was one of those midway... There was one of those Mortal Kombat little Easter eggs they threw in there.
That's very cool. No, I didn't know
But he got that because he won 50 games in a row, and nobody could beat him.
All right.
Yeah.
My longest was... This sounds stupid, but it was either 70-something or 50-something, and I don't remember.
Dude, it's hard to remember when it's that long.
But I don't know why I remember it so differently. Those are 2 very different numbers, and somehow in my brain it's mixed up. But yeah, in any case, that was probably 4 hours or something of just sitting there, right? And you just...
Which game?
That was in Third Strike.
Okay. With Q?
Yeah, with Q. Yeah.
Wow. You must have been playing some bad players in those games.
No, I think you're right, actually. For at least part of it. Anyway, yeah, you're absolutely right to say that when you have trained up that much, you don't feel the fear, you don't feel the exasperation, your heart rate doesn't raise because you are so accustomed to everything.
Right.
And your reactions feel easier. Everything just feels easier when you're that trained up. So anyway, he looked extremely good. Congrats to Knee. However, he did not play versus Atif Butt or Always Honey. Because their sponsor did not want him to have competition against them the week before the Tekken World Tour Finals.
Didn't want to give him any information.
They are literally saving that shit for Nationals.
Wow.
Very literally.
That's so awesome, dude.
Very literally.
I love it. I'm down with that. So
I think that's hilarious, awesome.
Drama, dude.
It makes the drama. It makes the
drama.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I think that's very cool. So, I mean, it's great that Knee went there, right? What a even thing to be talking about, right? Think back to last year. Would you have said the weekend before Tekken World Tour Finals, the biggest tournament of the year,
right.
Knee chooses to train in Pakistan? You go to Lahore, Pakistan?
Knee, who won every tournament he went to last year, who was like the hottest player in the entire Tekken World Tour circuit, he's going to Pakistan to train.
Right. What a just complete change in how we all view Tekken and Pakistan. We weren't even thinking about it.
Right.
Let alone how we view Pakistani players. We just weren't thinking about
Arslan
it at
Ash
all.
wasn't a thing until Evo Japan, which was less than a year ago.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah, I mean, for us, outside of Pakistan, you know what I mean? We were the noobs, it turns out.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. That was not really a tournament, but something that I thought was very interesting to bring up.
Oh yeah, super cool.
Okay, so now having talked about all that stuff, let's move on to talking about the Pro Tours.
Dude, there's so much information
on the next thing
the
here.
Pro Tours over here.
The Tekken World Tour Finals are this weekend.
Yes.
This weekend. Now, we talked about this before, but the players who have qualified, just to reiterate, the way that they do this is that they have 19 players who are qualified. Mm-hmm. Then one person qualifies via an LCQ at the event. Mm-hmm. And then they have the cool little groups picking phase.
Right.
So it's not a regular
not
bracket.
Seeded or anything like that. Yeah. There's just the qualifiers are there.
There they are. Mm-hmm. I love the format that they do. We're going to get a chance to see it again. So the players include Knee, Anakin, Lowhigh, JDCR, Chikarin, Arslan Ash, Kokoma, Super Akuma, Oasis Honey, Ulsan, Double, Chanel, Rangchu, Abel Del Maestro, Jimmy J. Tran, Nobi, Noroma, Shadow 20Z, and Saint.
So Atif Butt hasn't been able to acquire enough points basically to get there. But he'll probably be there for the last chance, I would hope.
I would think so.
Yeah. He has a really good chance of making it in then. I would think so. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So that's cool. There's other cool news too, and that is that the prize pool has actually been increased by a lot.
Right.
It's up by $50,000. So now it's $250,000 total.
Prize pool.
Uh-huh. Again, if you think back to, it was last year only, right?
Yeah, $7,000.
$7,000 for first place? I mean, that was...
Was it for first place or was it at the prize pool total? I can't even remember.
Well, I don't remember which one it was
either. It was really small.
In any case, it's now $250,000 in total. Mm-hmm. So, wow. Like night and day. Night and day.
Good job, Harada. Thank you, Harada.
Everybody who was involved in that, right? You got to think that it wasn't just him, although I'm sure he did have a big part of it. But the sponsors and whatever else that led to that. That's huge.
And just the momentum. The Arslan Ash story, how big everything was going, and a lot of good publicity. That game is truly the game that the community, the storylines are really driving that game into some wonderful, wonderful heights.
Yeah. Very cool. That will be this weekend. So, of course, it's going to be on twitch.tv/Tekken, which is what they've always been streaming on, the last couple of years anyway. That'll be there.
A lot of the guys who are going to be commentating are traveling over there already, except for one of them.
Yeah.
So Eris, turns out he's not going to make it.
Right.
And I can't really blame him.
No, I can't really either.
So he got on the plane. This is basically what he said. Let me read the exact tweet.
You got the tweet. You got the receipt.
Let me get the.
Okay.
To read the exact tweet, he says, "My flight was delayed due to power issues while I was on it. Keep in mind, Eris hates flying.
Yeah.
He has a massive fear of flying.
And he does it rarely.
Right, and he very rarely flies. Eventually, the captain decided that they would fly with partial power. So I had a panic attack and abandoned ship. Sorry, I won't be able to make it to Thailand. The airline issued a full refund. Play on."
Look, I can't blame him too much.
15-hour flight over the ocean.
Right.
Pacific Ocean.
Right.
Partial power.
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want it. That doesn't sound good to me either.
I've never heard of that. I've never heard of
that either.
Anybody ever saying, hey, we're going to fly on partial power.
It makes me wonder how many times this has actually happened and the pilot hasn't just come on the comm and said it to us. How often does it just happen? I have no idea.
Dude, I mean, like, I'm not even terrified of flying.
Flight. Right.
But if the captain's like, we're going to do it on, like, partial power, I'd be kind of like, wait, are you talking like 90%? Or are you talking like 10% here, right?
Right.
Holy crap. So, yeah, I can't blame Eris at all.
No, I don't blame him at all. Especially if there is a real fear there in the first place. It would be great if you were there. He's a blast to listen to, of course, on commentary, but... Yeah,
I mean, the hard part there is obviously for the 10-0 staff and everybody else who are going to be running the event because they've got to shift the commentary schedule now. I don't know if they've got to find an emergency backup commentator to cover some of those spaces, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, that was, that's not
Somebody
fun.
Shoot that guy.
Yeah. Oh, man.
So, okay, no Eris. But we talked about this last time. They're going to have an awesome list of commentators. It's like everybody else that you think of. Tekken has gotten to a point where it has a really good roster of commentary.
Yeah.
Really good roster of commentary.
Yeah, I hope Spaghetti Rip and all those guys.
Yeah, he's going to be there. Rip will be there.
Yeah. MYK.
I believe Majin Obama will be there.
Steezy, is he going to be there? Rick Steezy?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Okay.
Could have just found the tweet, I guess, but I didn't think about that until right now. But, in any case, they're going to have good commentary.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. Eris might stay home and just restream it, to be honest with you. And that would be good because it would give it a lot of extra eyes as well, too. So
sure.
There you go. Okay, Rick still will be going.
He will be going there, yeah. And Tasty Steve, of course.
Of course, Tasty Steve. Tasty Steve, Rip, and Markman are... Yeah. They're the ones who are everywhere. Mm-hmm. They do it everywhere.
They do.
My leg is falling asleep.
Oh, yeah. There's nothing you can do about it. You're stuck. Again, that's this coming weekend, so make sure that you check that out. Now, I did try to ask a couple people to come on and talk about like their predictions for the Tekken World Tour Finals. Yeah. Some people were traveling to Bangkok, Thailand for maybe something just like this. And another guy was sick, so my bad. I don't have more in-depth knowledge to really be able to discuss Tekken, but I gave it the old go.
Yeah, and again, it's also a little bit harder because, honestly, the way that they have it so that there's no preset bracket, you can't really predict. Like, you can just say who's going to win based off of who's the strongest, right? And at this point in time, is that Arslan? Is that Ni now?
Right.
Is it going to come down to those two guys? But that's the best you can speculate because it matters so much on who ends up on whose pools in the little round robin. And not only that, too, it's not even like an even spread. Like, sometimes people just go after other people. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like Jimmy J. Tran would be like, bring on Arslan Ash, and just like put his name in.
I hope that happens.
Yeah, exactly. So it's really, really hard. And if we had to speculate, again, we're probably not versed well enough, but we would have the generic answer of Arslan Ash or Ni.
Sure.
Because clearly those two are kind of like the strongest, and that's where the storyline is kind of heading at this point in time. If this were a movie and it was a script, they would be the ones in grand finals.
They would have to be, just like at Evo, etc. Yeah, it's a great format. I really enjoy watching Tekken World Tour. Again, that's good. It's coming weekend. All right. Anything else to say about that?
No, except I can't feel my foot at all.
Oh, no, your foot's dead. It's dead.
I'm sorry, kitty.
Oh, no, you removed the cat?
Oh, God, I can't feel my foot. And
that's how it's gotta be. What's gone?
Oh, man.
Okay. Well, let's talk about a couple of tours that basically wrapped up, sort of, this weekend.
So MK11 was one of the big ones?
Yes, MK11 was definitely one of the big ones. I mentioned before that the Intercontinental Combat was won by Nivik, which means he qualified for the for the Mortal Kombat Finals. For Final Combat is what they call it. I also mentioned that Combat and Samij tied in points. Let me get the number of points.
Oh, who then would
So
qualify?
The top 12 qualify via points in this thing.
Okay.
They tied at 12 with 595.
Wow.
By the way, Sonic's has 2,420.
Let's not talk about that. Let's not talk about that. Okay?
But 12 places were Samij and Combat tied. tie.
And the tiebreaker?
The tiebreaker was who had the better results at Evo.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting tiebreaker. Okay. And
the higher of that, with the 7th place overall finish,
that was Samij, right? Yeah, I remember he made top 8.
It was Samij.
Yeah.
So Samij made it in, even though they tied in points.
So, but Kombat probably going to try for the LCQ then?
Oh, you got to think he will. Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But dang, that's a big one. So as a result, the players
I can
are...
barely lift my leg right now.
Your leg's dead. God. Just cut it off, might as well. The players include Sonic Fox. Well, here's the points, right? So Sonic
just
Fox,
go in the order from top to bottom.
Sonic Fox, Dragon,
Yes.
Ninja Killa, who, by the way, played only half the season and was so good that he qualified in 3rd overall in points. So I think it's basically between him and Sonic Fox are best in the world. That is to say, it's not clearly Sonic Fox.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the field...
Ninja Killa is super good, man. It's wild.
Well, so wasn't the cat as heavy as I was sitting with one leg crossed, and so my leg was getting cut off.
Your leg's gone.
My leg was
It's not even there. I'm looking at your
way.
legs. It's gone.
Yeah, I know, right?
4th place overall, Tekken Master, then Foxy Grandpa, then Dizzy, then Deoxys, Hayate, Rewind, Scar, CGL Jelly Jiggler, which is Tommy Tweedy's new handle.
When did he make that change?
Like last week. I don't know. Whatever.
Jelly Jiggler.
Jelly Jiggler is what he went with. That's his new handle.
I mean, I know we're not supposed to make fun of Burrito Voorhees anymore,
Yeah.
but we got Burrito Voorhees and Jelly Jiggler.
Jelly Jiggler. By the way, Tweety is his real name. It's really his last name.
Okay, yeah, I figured.
So
I figured.
I don't. First time I heard of it, I figured he was just doing Tweety Bird, right?
Oh,
But,
yeah. Okay,
no, in
okay.
fact, his real name's Tommy Tweety, and he wanted to get away from his real name.
Okay.
So he went with Jelly
Jiggler.
Okay. And then, like I said, Samij to round it out in 12th spot. Then the players who qualified via other means, like Intercontinental Combat, whatever the Canadian one was called, etc., are Stabs up north in Canada, Nivik in Intercontinental Combat, the Latin qual.
It's not listed on the site.
No, it's not really the site. I just got a tweet.
Okay.
Anyway, the LCQ as well.
Okay.
So the thing about this is that although the points are locked up, right, it's not until March.
So is it a bracket?
No, the bracket's not right. I mean,
is it going to be a bracket?
it will.
Yeah.
I'm not sure actually if that's been announced, but I assume that it will be a bracket because it has been before.
Right.
It has been just regular double elimination seeded bracket before.
Yeah.
So probably,
Okay.
Probably.
So we probably know what the matchups will be then. Right?
If they're based on points and stuff, then it might be that it's Sonic versus the Last Chance qualifier, Rewind versus Hayate.
You know, it's funny because
maybe
because of what Nemo did at CPT, you know, they moved the Last Chance qualifier to the 19th spot at CPT. Anytime there's an NRS tournament, no, you just leave them at the bottom because they have to fight.
They got Fox.
That is definitely the worst position possible.
You're right.
You know? Oh,
You're
man.
right. I don't know why so late. 3 months. Look, it's not like there are no tournaments in between. For example, KIT is a really big tournament for the NRS scene. I would say that is one of the biggest tournaments for the NRS crew. Like they have treated the NRS scene really well. The players go. It's really well attended. It's always really hyped to watch. So that's in January. And so it's not like there's nothing between now and then.
So they're basically going to just play it for fun then, because it's not going to add any points. It's not going to have any.
I mean, it's a tournament like normal, right? Like
it's not gonna
you
have
win
any,
the pot, whatever was
It's not going to have
entered.
any bearing on who makes it in or whatever.
As far as I know,
they've just cut it off. At
but
this
there
point.
is going to be a last chance qualifier, and so there is speculation that KIT will be where the last chance qualifier takes place. But there's no information that's true.
Interesting.
That is pure speculation, and I don't want to portray this as being for reals. But this is just, it would kind of make sense. But it would also make sense if they just waited till the weekend of the final combat and then had the LCQ
Now, when
there.
did they say Spawn was coming out? They said February or something like that, didn't they? I can't remember now. I forgot, because they revealed March. He's coming out in March. So, that's an interesting one. Because I was wondering if they wanted to, like, put it late enough so that Spawn could be legal in the tournament or something like that, but I guess not. Then.
What I speculate is that it is just based on it being a year after the game came out.
Right.
The game comes out in April. That's how it always is for MKs, for NRS games. So maybe they're just trying to be like, all right, it starts in April, it ends in March. Right? That makes sense in a way.
I'm just reading the Twitch chat right now, and that comment right there, the fact that it comes from Paco is...
This guy.
Like, I read it, I was like, okay, typical chat. And then I saw it was
chat.
like, it's from, there you go. But then it was from...
Tyler just messaged me earlier in the day, and he was like, I'm so sick of all this drama. And now look who's dramaing it up, huh? Jeez, the dev.
It's too funny.
So, can't really talk about matchups and anything like that, but the points are locked in when it comes to the Mortal Kombat Pro competition for Final Kombat. Okay. In addition, the Dragon Ball FighterZ World Tour, the DBFZWT,
had a lot of shakeups thanks to the event in Japan this weekend.
So as a result, here are your standings. Finals.
So Super
Goichi!
Super Nuna and I think it was Apology Man got their way in thanks to that event, thanks to their placement.
Well, you didn't want to wait for me to say it, huh?
Well, okay, fine.
Goichi, first overall in points. Then Fenrich, then Sonic Fox, then Wawa. To Kill Sage after that. 6th was Kazunoko, then Shanks, then Mado is 8th. 9th, Chris G, then Banbaban, then Super Noon, then B, then Apology Man, then Matoy, and then Seo at the 15th spot. And then the last chance qualifier will be in the 16th position.
Yeah, that will be at the World Tour, of course. Have the last chance qualifier. I mean, at the finals, just like all the other events.
Yeah, and as far as I know, there's no announced date for the finals.
Oh, yeah? Okay.
I tried looking around for that, and the most that I got was community members being like, when are the finals going to be? So, I don't know what that's about. But
Look, I've said it a million times already. You know, all these tours, like this is what, the second year for Dragon Ball,
yes.
right? And, you know, pretty much like the first year Arc Revo's tried to do stuff very internationally. And yeah, they all have not been going smooth. The Samurai Showdown thing hasn't been going particularly smoothly either. But you know what? You know, the first years that Capcom Cup was going on, there was a lot of weird stuff going on as well. Takes time for it to get there. And the fact that they're doing it, I think, is more important. And then give them chance to continue to improve every year. In fact, last year, let's not forget Kazunoko and the last chance qualifiers of death last year.
That's
because
right.
He won like 5 tournaments. And so he created like 4 last chance qualifier tournaments that they had to play all out there because they were like, clearly not one person's going to win every event. They didn't even take that into account, I guess, into that rule. It's like, what if Goichi won every one of them and we'd had to run 7 LCQs?
Yep.
It won't happen.
Unlikely, yeah.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
And then Kazunoko, they were right. It wasn't Goichi, it was Kazunoko who caused it to happen. And so this year, you know, obviously there's still, you know, issues and road bumps here and there, but, you know, give them time. Last year, Tekken had $7,000 for first place, and now they have $250,000 this year, right? Give people the time.
For sure.
Give people the time. So, there you go. There was no LCQ for Capcom Cup 2016? I can't even remember.
Who remembers now? It was so long ago.
That's right, because I remember when they kind of came up with that idea of doing the LCQ like at the tournament. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, that's all I got for the Dragon Ball World Tour, just because it seems like the rest is kind of unannounced.
Okay.
At some point, there will be finals, and those players will be the ones who are there.
That's right. Apology Man lost the Aqua in all 4 of the last chance qualifiers. He lost the Aqua in every single one of them.
That's tough.
And I think they were all single elimination just because of the time constraints. I think they just said
something like that.
Something crazy like that, yeah. Oh, man. Okay.
I didn't go that day. That's right. Yeah, I stayed home and watched some of it. Even though it was in LA. I literally took the metro the next day to go watch the finals part of it. And that next day, which was the true finals after the LCQ, the whole venue was like muted almost. Until later in the finals, people got rowdy. But at the beginning, people who had tried to qualify via LCQ were just like...
Dude, mentally
so
and physically crushed,
drained.
Dude. Yeah.
It was tough.
I mean, we just talked about what Knee went through, but I mean... This is a completely different story.
Yeah.
These are guys trying to qualify for this, and they don't have the resolve. I'm sure that Knee does.
I mean, it's that many tournaments is different.
Yeah, exactly.
Different beast.
Just by the next day, it's just like it's like the battlefield. It's like after the war is over, and they're just sitting there.
Right, yeah. It's even the survivors are just.
It's the ending of Avengers when they're eating shawarma. They're just like they can't even talk, dude.
Ooh, thanks for the sub, Halfway Crook.
Thank you.
So that's it for DBFZ for now. Let's talk about the Capcom Cup.
Yes.
The brackets have been posted.
Yes.
The official matchups have been posted.
Yeah.
You wanna put them on the internet here?
Sure. I think my favorite so far was the I don't have the document open here. Sorry, let me do that really quick. I usually have
the Capcom Cup definitely looks like a bloodbath, but of course it's going to be. There's just too many good players.
I think my favorite one that I saw was the tweet. Did you see the tweet from Gustavo and Big Bird's reaction to that one?
I did not.
Gustavo posted out a tweet that just said preparing for Capcom Cup, and it's just him at the gym, just like arms, just like ripped. Like you see the veins everywhere. He just
okay
the whole time, right? And then and then Big Bird posted the response. He was like, "My face when I'm his first round matchup," and it's that one kid who's like that slightly overweight kid who's just kind of like looking around like, yeah. I just thought that was hilarious, dude.
That's great.
Oh man. Where is it here?
Lower.
There
it is.
CPT. There you go. Okay. So is this a picture?
It's 4.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. All right, let's do this. Add source.
No, we're
screen
getting
capture. Screen capture. It'd be nice if I had stream producer, but we don't have budget for that, so
correct.
It's not gonna happen.
Correct.
Yeah. Can we convince Kentley to be our stream producer so she can run the stream and stuff like that?
I think that would just require years of tech beforehand. All right.
Or I can teach Jasmine and Nathan.
That would be the best.
Yeah, there you go.
That'd be for the best.
I'll teach Nathan to do it.
Here we go. So here's slide number 1. Punk versus Zenith, Machobo and Angry Bird, Problem X and Daigo, which is a rematch of one of everybody's favorite SF5 matchups of all time. That's going to be really great to watch. Momochi and NL as well.
Yeah.
Then you got the old second one here. Fudo and Luffy. That's going to be really fun. Presumably it's going to be Birdie versus Mika, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Cien and Dogura, 2 very strong players. Hot Dog and JB.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah, Hot Dog's so sick to watch. But JB, shouts to him. Oil King, Nemo in there, of course. Bone Chan versus Smug.
Ooh, okay.
Gachikun and John Takeuchi, the Rashids take each other out.
Yeah, there you go. Big Bird and 801 Strider.
Uh-huh.
Phenom versus Sako.
Oh, wow.
And then this is probably the most interesting one.
Tokido versus Kichipamu. Kichipamu has gone undefeated versus Tokido in tournament this year.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
In fact, Tokido versus Zangief hasn't won this year.
Yeah, so. But he's done really... So, Game 2K has put up a bunch of interesting stats. Tokido has done really well against grapplers until this year. And it's mostly, I think, Kichipamu.
I'm sure it is, yeah.
It's mostly Kichipamu. But then again, Kichipamu's he just thinks this matchup is so good for Zangief.
He does think it's a win for Geef, yeah. Mm-hmm. I don't think that's too crazy, by the way.
Yeah, and then Mago's going versus the LCQ winner, which actually kind of sucks for the LCQ winner because Mago is on a tear.
Very good.
We didn't talk about we forgot to talk about the Red Bull. I mean the CPT Japan event results too. Which happened this past weekend. The CPT to find out which of the top two teams of the Street Fighter League Japan teams happened this weekend.
Isn't that this coming weekend?
No, it happened already.
Oh, really?
It happened this last weekend. Mago's team won.
Oh, jeez.
So Mago is on fire, basically, right now. Fujimura and Idom. Oh! And Knuckle Dew and Infectious. That is
so there you go. There's your first round matchups for Capcom Cup.
Yeah. There you go.
Very interesting. Yeah, those are going to be a lot of really interesting matchups, and they'll all be good to watch, I'm sure. Just some of them have the extra outside stuff that makes them particularly interesting. But yeah, those will all be really good matchups.
I always wondered if we should kind of throw a monkey wrench into the way the whole thing is set up. They should just have it so that based on your seed, the first seeded person just gets to pick who they fight.
That would be awesome.
And then the second seed just picks who they fight. You know, like, you know what?
It's like a modified Tekken rules.
Yeah, but keep it the brackets. But then the person in first seed's like, this is a good matchup for me, so I'm picking you.
I like it.
You know
I like
mean?
it.
Yeah.
That is some real advantage for getting the most points.
Right. And it would also allow for a lot of drama and jerkery.
Yeah. Who thinks who sucks?
Yeah, because I can imagine Punk just being like, knuckle do, you know? Like, I'm just going to G.
Whose number do you know you have?
Right, exactly. I think that would actually be funny. Yeah, cool. I meant Street Fighter League, yeah, for sure. So, but Street Fighter League, so Mago's team won first place, and I think it was Nemo's team that got second place. Okay. People can correct me if I'm wrong. Dude, by the way, Takeuchi on Nemo's team is wearing a Liquid jersey.
I've seen this.
With the Spider-Man outfit on there.
Uh-huh.
Dude, it's so good. Like, I was like, because he looks like Peter Parker, dude.
He's like permanently Peter Parker's age.
Right, and then I mentioned that on Twitter, and I was like, it's so adorable, I can't handle it. And one of the representatives from Liquid messaged me, was like, this is absolutely intentional.
That's great.
You know? They wanted him to look like Peter Parker, so it's so funny, dude.
And Nemo has the Captain America one, I think.
Does he? Oh, I didn't even make that connection. They should have made him Iron Man, actually.
That would be cool.
They should have made him.
I kind of miss the days of Nemo wearing a suit and stuff.
I know, right? Yeah,
that's how esports is. And in the context of esports, they're doing a great job.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So,
dude, totally adorable. Dude, Takeuchi is about as adorable as you can get. Dude.
Absolutely right. Capcom Cup will be in 2 weeks, week and a half. So that's coming up soon.
Whew.
Yeah, man.
So I guess next week we'll probably talk about our matchup predictions or something like that.
Yeah, sure. We'll definitely do that.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's it in terms of world tours that have been going on. But there's also brand new news.
We're not done yet.
Yeah. Brand new news.
Brand new news.
Soul Calibur 6 World Tour 2020
was announced. That's right.
That's super cool.
Yeah,
congrats to the Soul Calibur scene. That's really great.
They just announced it at the Fighting Tuesday. Literally earlier today in Japan.
Very cool.
So Mark Mann was there with Okubo on the stream, and they talked about it. And so, not a lot of details. They just announced that it's happening.
Right, basically, right. Yeah. I mean, we do know that Evo Japan will be the first stop. It will be there in January of 2020.
Okay.
So at least Evo Japan will be part of it. In terms of the other details, I haven't seen that there's anything more announced since then. What are you looking up?
I'm trying to find John Takeuchi in the
Takeuchi Spider-Man?
Yeah, but I can't find it right now, because if you look up Spider-Man, you just get all Spider-Man. He is destroying John Takeuchi.
Well, give me some quotes around Takeuchi there.
Okay. Quotes, and then probably add in, like, Street Fighter or something like that, right?
Well, you gotta put... Yeah, okay.
Let's see. I just wanted to get it on stream. Yeah,
that's alright.
So I'm not going to find it, so yeah. Street Fighter B. Oh, gosh. Yeah, okay.
No? Okay, well, no big deal.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah, there you go. There's going to be a tour for Soul Calibur 6.
Yeah, shout outs to that scene, by the way. And I've really enjoyed watching how the scene has reacted to Soul Calibur 6, and everything like that. Because it came out, they liked the game, they supported it, they were very happy about everything. They weren't getting the red carpet treatment that Tekken was getting and everything, but they were like, we're so happy about this and everything. Shout outs also to Okubo trolling everybody at Evo. You know, when he was like, you know, we have no new announcements. Let's look at this video just to show how great this past year has been.
Yeah.
And then it was like season 2. Here's this new stuff. It was really good stuff to them. But it's really cool because the scene, they are supporting it. The players are supporting it. And now Bandai Namco is realizing that there's that backing there. The scene is growing, and I think that's wonderful. So again, I always say this, and I think positivity does more power than negativity. You know what I mean? Yeah. So all the Soul Calibur players being happy about everything, supporting Okubo.
It is a good game. I mean, right? It's not for nothing. I mean, they have a good game on their hands. When SC5 came out, I feel like a year after the game came out, which is now where SC6 is, right? It's been out for over a year.
Nobody cared about it.
SC5 was basically gone, as far as I could tell. And I wasn't a Calibur player myself, but even Calibur players I knew had stopped playing.
Right. Yep.
At that point. Whereas 6 is going great. Going great, right? Season 2 just came out. Like I said, I really enjoyed watching it at NEC.
Yeah, and just from what I've heard from people, they like a lot of the changes and stuff like that. So
for sure.
And again, shout outs to them as well, because I feel like they've also, the devs I'm talking about, like they have the best patch notes. Like I think Soul Calibur clearly has the best patch notes, because it's not even just here's the change. It's like here's the change because we felt like this character needs to do more of this, blah blah blah. It's like
and it has a little arrow indicating if it's good or bad. Right?
And my favorite is that they're actually willing to put the up and down, like it's the buff nerf. You know what I mean? Like we changed this, but we made it this. And so it can't be both. And it's like Choi Sauce said earlier in chat, like the patch notes are like 20 pages long or something like that.
Quite detailed.
It's crazy.
Yes, yeah. And look, I think Wasik's right to point this out too. It is very cool and impressive, and I never would have expected it, but 3D games have made it gigantic.
Yes.
If you just go back a few years, I mean, there was a conversation one year, would there be a 3D game at Evo?
Yeah.
Really? Not too long ago.
Yeah, and if it wasn't for Markman always sneaking Tekken 7 into Evo, even as just like this little side thing, there wouldn't have been a 3D game in there,
So from that to now, when Tekken has maybe the most momentum, Soul Calibur 6 is going great.
They're also going the buff everyone style of patches. Like the characters just keep getting stronger in that game. So which is really, really cool.
Well, I'm really happy for the Calibur scene. They're going to have a world tour next year.
Yeah, that's super exciting for them. So I'm really happy for them. Like I said, the thing that makes me sad is that I haven't been keeping up with the game as much recently, just because it's too many fighting games out there.
I mean, you can still watch it and have fun time watching it at a minimum.
Because I mean, for a while I was trying to help support the scene. I was like promoting as much as I could, and I just feel bad that I feel like I haven't been doing my share of helping.
Hey, man. I mean, I'm sure that they'd be happy to have it, but they have been doing well.
Yeah.
I also think it's really cool that they've announced this by doing community type stuff, right? So Kayane got to announce it. They had the stream at Fighting Tuesday, which is a community event. Like, that's a really good sign. I feel like that they're so like interfaced into the community itself.
Yeah.
Very cool.
It's a recipe for success. Because I feel like Tekken's been doing a good job with that too, right? So Bandai Namco, I feel like has just been doing a really good job with that. So,
they're doing great. Okay, that's all I got for news and for World Tour stuff.
Okay.
It was a lot.
Yeah, I know. But that's all. That's all we have.
An entire hour.
All right, we're done.
Yeah.
I mean, just that little bit of information.
Just a
there.
Now again,
I can barely fit it.
I see
in
that.
my new double line spaced smaller font
I
thing.
See that.
I can barely fit it in there.
Again, it's going to be a while until some of that stuff comes to fruition, like the Dragon Ball and the MK stuff. But Tekken World Tour's this weekend. Capcom Cup is the weekend after that.
Yep. So there you go. A lot of good stuff coming up, dude. Back-to-back weekends of amazing play. So.
Definitely. All right.
Okay.
Well, let's take a little breaky break.
Sure. All right, be right back, guys.
We'll have the 5-5 matchup soon.
Boom. There we go.
Can I go pee-pee?
Yes, you may.
Thank you.
People are like, really? David has to ask permission?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. A little unusual arrangement here.
Yeah, exactly. Literally, if I don't get up out of my chair, David can't make it out of his chair. That is why he has to ask. So, oh man, And every time, David always has food here, and it always smells so good, so I always get hungry. Him asking that question just makes me think of Shawshank Redemption. What was the lines? Like, I can't even take a piss without asking for permission. Oh, man. What a great movie. If you haven't seen Shawshank Redemption, you really should see Shawshank Redemption. Great movie. Which article are you talking about, Toshin? He can't read the chat right now. He's going pee-pee right now. We talked about that last week, Super D. Bizarro Mike is leaving Capcom. He hasn't left yet, but he is leaving Capcom. We talked about that a little bit last week on the Tuesday show. So he is... he's probably just disengaging because, you know, he's kind of, you know, getting ready to pass it on to other people. David Splitbox is here, so he'll be able to show you that a little bit. Yeah, it's interesting. It was an interesting costume for Taskmaster, but we'll see.
The Taskmaster, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody always looked kind of weird, and then somehow, whenever I watch the movie, it never turns out as bad, you know? Because, like, there's, like, usually, like, a really kind of clever thing that they did with it and stuff like that. Which, by the way...
Okay.
So, I've been watching the new DuckTales.
All right.
I've been watching the new DuckTales cartoon, the new series that they made recently. Yeah. And Darkwing Duck was one of my favorite cartoons, and they referred to it as a TV show in the thing.
Do they really? In the show?
Yeah, like in DuckTales, they referred to it as a TV show, which always kind of made me sad because Launchpad was his sidekick, so it was always like they were in the same world. Gizmo Duck was there. Right. Then I got to the episode in season 2 called like the Duck Knight Returns. And they kind of like were doing thing, and the original actor who plays Darkwing Duck is just like some kind of ego-obsessed jerk or whatever. And I was like, I don't like the way this is going. And then they did something at the end of that episode, and I was like, that's sick. Really? Okay, yeah. They tied it all in there, and I was like, okay, I'm down with that. It's actually really cool. So yeah, I don't know if that's what you're talking about, Clack 14. Darkwing Duck was one of my favorite cartoons. But you know what the funniest thing is? I could never, ever make out what they were saying in the title song. But on Disney Plus, on my phone, they just have the subtitles on by default. Yeah. And so I actually saw the line, and I was like, oh my god, I've never known this line. That's right. I was today years old when I found out what this line was. So... Darkwing Duck was such a great cartoon. Oh man, I love it. Sure, yeah, cartoon. I remember looking at it. You know, I like the NES Darkwing Duck game, but it was too simple because it was like a kiddie friendly Mega Man game basically. Okay. And I felt like it could have did better. Sorry. Let's get dangerous. And sure enough, Megavolt. You remember him, the rat, the electric rat. First cartoon character, I think, to say "Dope." Really? Yeah, because he's voiced by Dan Castellaneta, the same guy. Yeah, his voices. So he would go, "Oh, you stupid duck!"
So that's something that Dan Castellaneta made.
Maybe, yeah, yeah. I think he just made up that noise.
That's funny. I didn't know that.
Yeah. But I have to check the years on when the Simpsons were on Tracy Ullman. And compare to Darkwing Duck to see who actually did Dope first. But for sure, Megavolt said it, so...
Alright, we're gonna come back.
Yep. Let's do this. You ready?
Welcome back to Tuesday's show. My name's Davey. We're going to have the 5-5 matchup coming up now, which is typically where we debate or bloviate or talk about some wild stuff.
Yeah, nowadays it's more of a 5-5 matchup with the community or something.
Something, you know? Who knows, whatever.
Something's happening and we're
going to be chatting about interesting topics here.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
We got a couple of these lined up. The first one is...
Would you Whoa!
Oh, I see what happened.
I
Okay.
messed up there.
Extremely guilty.
Guilty! Gear Strive.
Got it. Anyway.
Yeah, so
what's going on?
This kind of raised the stink because Daisuke did an interview at 4Gamer Magazine. Daisuke Ishiwatari, the creator of Guilty Gear. Literally, he made the characters, the music, the voice, some of the he did everything. He had an interview with 4Gamer Magazine, and an initial person came out and reported a lot of the translations in there.
Okay.
And I feel like he even admitted himself that there was a little bit of agenda-ish because, the way that it was translated kind of made it sound a little worse maybe than it should have been. But it really just started everybody talking about dumbing down fighting games and this is terrible and now I'm never going to play Guilty Gear Strive because it's dumbed down. He compared it to Mahjong and instead of chess, and all this stuff.
Yeah, well, what was that analogy?
Yeah, so he basically was saying it's less like chess but more like Mahjong. But for some that people took that to mean it's going to be like more luck.
Okay.
Now look, I'm going to be biased because I love Mahjong.
Do it.
I love Mahjong.
Do it.
And there's still a ton of strategy in Mahjong. So Mahjong is like poker, it's about, what hands you draw and stuff like that, but your hand changes very quickly during the course of the game, right? But the thing about it is, winning in Mahjong is based a lot on luck, probability, right? But there are many different ways to win a hand. If you just win in the most basic, normal way possible, you'll get like if someone, basically gives you the winning piece. Right? Fang Pao is what it's called. If you give the person the winning piece, you're like, haha, I win, right? They'll give you like 2 chips.
Okay.
Right? You're not going to win in the long run there. So even though there is randomness and probability in there, if you play that way, not using strategy and just going for the most logical thing, the other person's going to be like, I'm going to build my hand in such a way that I only have wins and I only have 1 suit, right? And then you'll be like, I won 2 chips. I won 2 chips. This person's like, I won, give me 13 chips. And you're like, So they won 1 game and they made way more money than. So there's so many different strategies to winning Mahjong. It's not about winning, it's about how you win. It's not betting like poker, right? But you purposely go for harder to win hands to get more points.
Okay, that's cool.
And then the harder to win hands, the points are kind of like exponential on how many chips you get from them, depending on the region that you play. It's different rules. Like I know in like Hong Kong, it's like really brutal. I think more than Taiwan and stuff like that. But that's basically the way it works. So there's still a ton of strategy in it, despite the fact that it is a probability random-based game. But the probability plays into the factor, just like poker, But except the cool thing about Mahjong is that you, outside of what's in a person's hand, you know everything that's out there.
Okay.
Right? So, for example, let's say you need a certain piece to win. You need 5 barrels to win, right? And you can look out in the discard pile and there's no 5 barrels out there. So you know all 4 of them are out there, right? Okay. But if you notice that player over there has never been throwing any barrels out, they may be hoarding all of them because they're trying to win with the 1 suit. And so you're like, well, my 5 barrels might not have a good chance of coming out because that guy is probably hoarding all of them because I've never seen this guy throw out any barrels at all whatsoever. In fact, the tough players, like it would get to the point where pros would get their piece, and when they dumped it in the discard pile, they would do it with the piece under their hand and they'd mix it in there so you can't see it.
Okay.
And the good players would still know which one it is because they remembered what was out there. And eventually, like some places, that's even an illegal strategy. Like you can't do that and stuff. Dude, Mahjong is serious
so it's complicated,
business. Yeah, it's super complicated. So even if you translate it, and Giuna retranslated it later on as well. Yeah. But even if he does say something like, it's not like chess, it's like Mahjong. For people who don't know Mahjong, that just sounds like, we've made it completely by luck and chance. But Mahjong is super strategic, even though you're going to lose a lot of small battles. But if you play it right, you're going to win the big battles anyway. Okay. So I don't even think that's a bad analogy, frankly.
Interesting.
That's me. So, dude, Robo Mahjong shuffling tables are whack. dude, because like one of the best things about Mahjong is
the noise of it.
Oh, it feels so good. However,
that makes sense.
The reason why people do use Robo Mahjong shufflers basically is because sometimes you can, like, the pieces will be face up, and when they pick them up and put them in stacks, players will remember where they were in the stacks. But if you throw them all into the hole in the middle of the table and then they all just come up, you literally have no idea.
Yeah, I hear you.
So there you go.
That makes sense.
So,
yeah.
But
anyway,
we're not good enough, and so the hand washing is just the best. Oh God, it's so good. Anyways, sorry.
In conclusion,
this is your Mahjong lesson for the day.
Yeah, I know. No, that is very interesting.
Sinestro called me a Mahjong nerd. I love it. I'm totally down to take that title.
I'm sure that sounds like something you'd love to be called. So, as a result of this interview, and previously, some people's thoughts about how Strive seems to be shaping up, and et cetera, there was a big conversation about whether the game is being dumbed down, sort of oversimplified. Whether the strategy is going to be reduced enough so that like new players can win as easily as advanced players.
They even said that the damage was higher for the reason that they wanted to make it so that people can win on lesser hits and stuff like that. So, and it's really funny to me to see that sometimes, because I saw someone like tweet out something kind of making fun of Street Fighter V. It was like, oh, this is a comeback. The guy got knocked down. He made one wrong guess, and then one more mix-up. He was stunned, and then the game was wrapped. What is it? And I was like, dude, I uppercutted someone out of the air in hyper fighting with Ken, and they didn't block my low short, and I won.
Correct. Absolutely correct.
Right? Or how about Balrog versus Guile? Round 1, fight. Dash punch, pow. Stand first, pow. Dizzy. You won.
Yeah, look, many of my favorite games are essentially 3 hits to win rounds. I'm not opposed to that at all, to be honest. Anyway, what do you think about this idea that maybe, in particular, Strive is going too far on that side? Or, in general, do you think that fighting games are going towards the side of simplification? Should we be concerned about oversimplification in fighting games? So
the way Giuna translated it himself a little bit, and somebody else was talking about I don't remember if it was Giuna or somebody else was talking about it, but there was apparently a kind of a feel from Daisuke that he still believes that no matter how much you simplify it, this is your philosophy, that it's still going to be complex at the end, right? So it's still going to be something that's hard that good players are going to get good at. I think he was more concerned about taking out the legacy strength, the legacy knowledge, maybe. That's a Tekken problem. The Tekken and Guilty Gear problem. They both had this problem, right? It's the legacy knowledge was a little bit too strong. And so I do feel like games are pushing themselves a little bit too much towards simplification. But I think a lot of games, I think people are starting to slowly realize that is not the way, right? We are not Mandalorians. That is not the way, basically. And
I get the TV show reference.
Yeah, I know. Surprise.
Crazy.
Yeah, so I think I think people are starting to get that a little bit more, because MK11 didn't try to simplify a lot of things, right? There's still a lot of hard stuff in there. Yep. Soul Calibur, still a lot of hard stuff. Tekken, even though simplified, still obviously a lot of hard stuff in there. BB Tag is definitely, even though they touted BB Tag as the easy game to come in and play, it is clearly probably one of the most daunting fighting games out there right now.
100%.
So, yeah.
There was an article with usgamer.net that also was with Daisuke that I saw today, and it was much.
Is this a new article?
As far as I know, but let me know if that's not true. But I read it today.
Maybe I was wrong that it wasn't 4Gamer. Maybe it was US Gamer or something.
No, I think this might be a separate thing.
Because this one's a US one, right? Because this one didn't need translation.
I think it's a separate thing.
Okay.
Anyway, and what Daisuke said there was, these are quotes now. So, we believe that the opposite word for complicated is not always easy for developing fighting games. Not to put a too fine point on it, Guilty Gear Strive gameplay can certainly be very complicated as users start to learn the nuances of the game. As with other major fighting games, they may seem simple and easy to play, but high-level play is usually for those who have played these games for a long time. The problem is that there's a great ability difference between players with and without carryover knowledge from previous games.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Our general philosophy with Guilty Gear Strive is that we want every player who plays the game to be a newcomer, so to speak. So I definitely think that it's what you were talking about.
Yeah.
The intention is not to make the game easy in some absolute sense, simple in some absolute sense. It's to make it so that the people who are coming into Guilty Gear from another fighting game and people who are coming into Guilty Gear Strive from Guilty Gear previous versions can all sort of be at the same ground level.
Right. They're doing what Street Fighter does all the time. Every time you come out with a new one, it's just, you know what? Get used to a new fighting game.
It's a new game.
And we've talked about how much we like that.
I like that.
So I'm totally down with that. And in fact, in that translated interview, or I'm not sure which interview, but he even mentioned that they might even try to continue the Exerd line.
I wanted to mention that too. Yeah, Exerd, yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yep, he did mention that. Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, you already mentioned my take on this, but my general thought is that it's very hard to make fighting games simple, and that even in cases when you take away something that is a layer of complexity, all you're doing is making the focus refocused onto some other layer of complexity that you just weren't thinking about really before, and now you have to focus on that instead. But even on top of that, I don't really recognize a trend towards simplicity. I think instead what's happened is that the games that are 15, 20 years old, we have learned so much about that they feel super complicated compared to the games that we've been playing for 6 months, which makes total sense, right? You know everything about them.
Yeah.
I really think it's like our feelings about it. Third Strike is not more complicated inherently than another game, but we have sort of figured out ways to make it very complicated.
It's clearly more complicated because there's all the certain characters you could body cross up, certain characters could... Yeah, I mean, that's all just stuff that we've learned over years
that stuff out. Yeah.
And I just talked about Third Strike's history on stream at Evo 2002, which was like a year or two into the game, right? Mike Watson was using freaking Sorai Rengeki with Yun.
That is to say, like, Yun only has one super in that game.
Right.
That's called Ganagin, and America didn't know about that until like 2 years into the game.
And then when Tokido was doing the unblockables to Justin, and someone just linked it on my Twitter because I was talking about it, like, you can hear someone in the audience going, yo, that's hot. Yo, that's hot. And, like, I don't even think he knew it was an unblockable.
Right.
He was just like, that's sick. It's like a weird hard unblockable. Like a weird cross-up. No, it was literally unblockable, and we were wondering, I was wondering, why isn't Justin blocking this?
Right.
I had no idea.
Right.
We didn't even know.
Correct.
Right?
There are these layers of knowledge for the games that we are so accustomed to, that we've built up, and we've done that. I mean, it's inherently in the game, obviously, but our understanding of the game has advanced so much that they feel very complicated, whereas the new games haven't had that chance yet. But I really don't think that Street Fighter V is less complicated in any objective sense than some other Street Fighter game. I don't feel that way about MK11 compared to MKX or 9. I don't feel that way about BB Tag. Certainly, I feel as complex as any game in its series, which is the Versus series. Like, they're all complicated.
I will make the one caveat that I do think that Street Fighter Season 1 was simpler.
I'm not going to defend Street Fighter Season 1. That's not what I'm talking about. Right. I'm talking about Street Fighter V Season 4.
Yeah.
You know my thoughts on Season 1.
No, Season 1, when that game came out, they definitely were trying very hard to simplify things. I even said this on my stream as well, that I truly believe if Karen was released as a Season 4 or 5 character, she would have the Rekkas that she had not hidden behind a V-Trigger. She probably would have just came in being like, she had V-Trigger, she had Rekkas in Alpha, so here's her Rekkas.
Right.
Because they've really just have lost all of their fear of complexity for these characters. Because Lucia, like, I keep dropping everything because I can't remember what combos I'm supposed to do, because but it's a good thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? That makes me happy, right? Poison has stance cancel combos. You think they would have put stance cancel combos in Season 1? Hell no.
They didn't.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Exactly. So I will say Street Fighter V Season 1 was definitely guilty of trying to oversimplify things. But since then, they've turned it around a lot.
I agree with that. I think that's fair to say. But I think in general, at least for the games that I play and care about, I do not feel that there's a larger trend towards simplicity. I don't feel, for example, that these games that are new have any problem with players expressing themselves or seeming as if they find individuality in them.
Right.
I think that's all there in the way that it has been there before.
Oh, that's right. Vega had a stance cancel, but it wasn't quite the same.
And they nerfed it from what it was in the beta, if you recall. It was a lot worse when the game ended up launching.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
I
remember being really excited for Vega pre-launch in the beta because I was like, oh, this character's going to have so much cool stance cancel pressure, and then they just...
Right. But his was also...
a lot worse.
His was actually just cancel into the stance link.
Yeah.
Whereas Poison is cancel into the stance, cancel the stance... into another button, which is a different thing. So
yeah. Anyway, I don't think that's true. I would say I think the one area where that may be true is that some games have made the execution a little bit easier. So that I don't feel like I can really argue against that point.
Right.
But strategically, I don't think that that's been true. Now I'm not a gear player, right? I can't speak to how the progression has gone in that sense. But in the game series that I do follow and care about, I don't think that this is really an actual trend. I think it's much more about people who are accustomed to playing an old game in a way that feels now very complicated, but that in reality, if we just had more time in our existing games, our current games, then we would feel like those games are really complicated as well. We're going to feel like these games are complicated in the future, for sure. This conversation happens every time that a significantly new game comes out. And as you mentioned, it happens more with a game like Street Fighter. That series tends to be very different each time, so you get to see this in more stark relief.
Right.
But each time that happens, there are people who say the last game is the one that was the most complicated and the most interesting and the best. The new one's the sucky one.
Right.
That's happened literally since Third Strike.
Yeah, and Wasik just posted in the chat, James Shea found an interview from 5 years ago about Exerd Sign talking about simplification.
Exactly.
They try to make it simpler. They simplified the whole entire Roman cancel system, and that created one of the more complicated aspects of Guilty Gear Exerd. So
I'm just not at all concerned about this idea of simplification in fighting games. I think it's got to be hard to make a game simple.
I am concerned, but then what you said, and then Ian Walker said this on Twitter as well, and it's a really, really smart perspective, is that you kind of have to say it.
Yeah, it's a marketing plan.
Yeah, it's a marketing plan, right? You have to say it because you don't want to be like, oh, our game is super complicated. Like, you have to be like, oh, this one is super easy to get into, so buy our game, because you'll be able to get into it, no problem.
But, I think it's a good point that that's not actually great PR.
Right.
Because I do think that it's true that, like, for example, people pick up Melee even now because it is complicated and they know that, right? There are people who really care about that stuff. So I'm not sure that actually is good marketing. But I think that it is their idea to market these games as being simpler than before. Or maybe, that's not even really what Daisuke is doing, right? He's instead saying explicitly in this US Gamer interview, it's not so much that they want to make the game easy, they want it to be complicated still, but they just don't want to have the what did he phrase it as? They don't want to have that great ability difference between players with and without carry-over knowledge from previous games. Right?
The legacy knowledge.
It's the legacy knowledge that they want to deal without.
Exactly, and I think that's really cool.
I think that's fine.
What are you linking to us, Supa? He's in my chat all the time, so I'll click on the link and trust it. So, this is just
SF5 mysterious mod. Yeah, that's funny stuff.
Okay, yeah, I don't care about mysterious mod stuff because, like, honestly, if you mod any game, you could make combos like stupid, ridiculous.
It's cool. I like watching that stuff. Yeah. It's not something I'm gonna play, but that's cool, man.
Yeah, it just it doesn't mean anything to me.
Right. It's just
especially if you're designing the game to be combo crazy, then you're inventing the combos, so the combos aren't exciting. You know what I mean? Okay. That's kind of how I feel about it. So yeah, that's how I feel about it. To me, it's the best when you find combos that the developers are like, whoops. No,
I already knew about the 3 you can combo with Ken. I knew about it.
Right. Or like when I
already knew about it, James.
Like what was it? In Marvel 3 when they talked to what was the guy's Nitsuma, that's what it was. They literally at the panel at Evo, they asked him, did you guys know about some of these things? And he was like, we knew about some of them, but we just didn't think humans were going to be able to do it. Literally they were like, oh yeah, this is possible, but there's no way people are going to get good enough to... Just can't underestimate them. So
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else to say about this topic?
No, I think anybody who's getting mad about Guilty Gear at this point in time is overreacting and jumping the gun way too much. And I think that everybody who is enjoying Guilty Gear right now were obviously given the VIP treatment and a lot of grapes, and they were fed and fanned by the models and everything like that. So I don't know who to trust. No, I'm just kidding. People who actually enjoy the game, who've played it, they say it feels like Guilty Gear, and I think we can rely on that. So
I think that's right. Yeah. That's not to say that if you feel that a game is going in a direction you don't like, that you shouldn't say your perspective. You should say it.
Yeah.
That's fine. I just wouldn't be super concerned, but hey, chat about it if it's something that you care about. Mm-hmm. And they have specifically asked for feedback after all. Anyway, we'll see how that development goes. Quite a long ways left.
What is going on with cats? Okay. All right.
Okay, we've begun.
Yes, let's go.
Let's move on to the next one now.
This one is yeah.
All right, we'll talk about it. So this dude Bill Menudis, right? Who plays under the handle of
I almost
Tom
want
Brady.
to type this title as the Brady bunch of bullet. BS,
Yikes!
But
plays as MK Tom Brady.
There you go. The Brady bunch of BS.
Okay, you did it. All right. Tom raised money on his stream to go to NEC and play MK11 there. And he didn't. He didn't do that. He claimed that he went. He even forged a receipt that he went.
Are you serious?
I am serious, unfortunately.
Oh, crap. Yeah, I didn't even know about that one.
He forged an Uber receipt. And the way that people figured out that it was fake was that he said that he took a Uber on Thursday, November 30th. Unfortunately, November 30th was a Saturday.
Is that why everyone kept talking about Thursday, November 30th?
Indeed.
I did not know. I saw people talking about that, and I had no idea what it was referring to.
Yeah. I mean, even on top of that, so the stream, I didn't watch the whole stream that he did yesterday, but near the beginning of it, he was talking about, he didn't do it. I mean, that is to say, he did go. He didn't steal money or whatever. He was there, and then he didn't want to produce a receipt. And it took him a while, too. And then when he finally did, he showed things on his screen, including his little Gmail, where it just had his receipts in it, right? It also had a receipt for a program that can be used to edit images, which he bought, and then maybe used to edit that image. It's...
I mean, someone messaged us on Twitter and basically said that he also admitted over the course of the years he started donation drives for events he never planned on going to with the intent to keep the money. So he's been doing this for a while.
Right. So that's what I wanted to bring up too. I heard about this for the first time only recently myself. A couple months ago, maybe. I don't know, something not too long ago. But yeah, I've heard of this happening before, of him raising money to go,
he was also sponsored by someone to go to an event. I kind of remember that he didn't show up.
Yeah, that's happened.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, this is an ongoing thing. It's, there have been other allegations that he's done even worse things than this, taking a lot of sums of money from people. I can't speak to the veracity of that myself, but those are allegations that are out there. There's other stuff that, it's weird for sure. I don't know. You don't need to go into it for really, but there's definitely a lot of weird stuff. So this is something we need to talk about because it's obviously in this instance it sucks, and it's not just that it sucks. It's like theft, maybe.
Yeah. Well, it is theft.
I mean, maybe it's fraud. I don't know if
fraud.
It's theft,
it's
but
probably more
it's
fraud.
Fraud,
yeah,
probably.
Yeah.
And it's actionable stuff, right? I mean, this is
I mean, he's admitted all this stuff. Yeah, and he's not giving anybody their money back at this point.
Okay, so what he said is that people who want him to give their money back, he will. But that people have told him that they would just want him to keep it. That's what he said. Some of his supporters wanted him to do. I don't know if that's right, but that's certainly what he said. Is that true? I don't know.
I mean, at this point, though, is this an actionable offense to the point where obviously we have no governing body, but should he be banned from events things like that?
That's the conversation now. And I think we have to talk about what to do in this situation, and I think we have to talk about even more than that, about how it is that we've let this continue. Mm-hmm. I feel bad in retrospect because I had heard about this kind of behavior, like I said, a couple of months ago. Mm-hmm. I know other people who have had more knowledge than that over the years, and it's in part our bad for letting it get this far.
Right.
As to say, like, I think it's on us as a scene of letting this happen and letting this continue. Now, I mean, if somebody just wants to give him money, like, it's whatever, that's out of our hands. But in terms of sort of allowing him to be like a member of the scene in some sense, whatever that means, I don't know, but whatever that means, allowing that to continue, I feel like we have kind of let people down. and I don't want to do that. I want to have a scene that doesn't allow hucksterism. I want to get that out of here. Well,
so here's a couple of things, right? This always kind of comes from a little bit of the, heroes, the superstar, the worship kind of mentality, which I've always been against, right? I've never wanted this to be a worship mentality kind of scene, right? You can have your favorite players. You can be their fans, but you should not think of them as holier than thou or anything like that, right? So if you ever run into them in a tournament, you want to beat their ass, you know what I mean? Kind of thing like that. But when you get to the point where you worship somebody, and I think this is kind of where Tom Brady, he's spent a lot of time pushing himself up as a celebrity. I'm Tom Brady. I'm important. I should be doing this in the game. I should be doing this. And I think, he's built up and maybe enough of a base that they believe the hype.
That is right.
And so he was able to kind of take advantage of that. And, maybe as a community, we have to stop doing that, or just whenever anybody runs some sort of donation drive, we just have to be very watchful of it. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't want to not have donation drives. Because there's a lot of times those things are helpful, and people are genuinely willing to help.
And the people receiving them are genuinely willing to do the thing.
Right, and they do the thing. Yeah. Right, exactly.
That's how it usually works.
So I don't want to get rid of that idea, but I think we need to just, hold people accountable for following through. And if they don't follow through, then kind of demand a refund, kind of situation.
So that everybody is demanding a refund. That is to say, the larger scene is demanding a refund. He has claimed that some people won't demand refunds, aren't demanding refunds. I don't know, whatever. But I mean, as far as the scene goes, I do want us to take some steps to not allow this kind of behavior in the community. I want to have a community that is welcoming and that won't take advantage of people in this significant way. I mean, it's predatory stuff, right? It's not just being mean. It's predatory behavior.
And it's a weird thing too, because you see this kind of cycle happen all the time. It happens once. Like, maybe he got donations for a tournament and at the last second he couldn't go, and nobody said anything. He was like, huh.
I don't know.
And then he tried it one more time, and eventually it just goes into that pattern. It's like, it's such a normal cycle for people spiraling down this weird path, you know what I mean? Or, I don't know, maybe he literally thought, I need money. How can I get money from people? I don't know.
I really don't know, yeah.
But it's unfortunate that it happened to him, and that it's gone this way. And, yeah, we just don't want it to. I mean, I do like what somebody said in the chat, though, that, Tom Brady is more the exception than the norm.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean, there's been another player who has scammed a lot of people out of money in the FGC. He's ended up going to jail a bunch of times and stuff like that. Okay. So, I can't remember his handle right now.
That's all right. I know who you're talking about.
Okay. But, it's... So I feel like it's those two are the ones that I know the most outside of, shady TOs who have stolen money and stuff like that.
Yeah, so. But that is mostly...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, people are mentioning in the chat. Whatever. Mm-hmm. That's mostly a bygone era. That's not to say that we are entirely free of the hucksters and the shady people. Larger esports is certainly still full of that, but the FGC, while still retaining some of it, is much better off than it was years ago. It used to be way worse than it is now. It used to be every year there'd be some tournament that would not give out money, right? It was not uncommon, seriously.
Right.
And now that's happening less frequently.
Yeah, people would run raffles, have their friends or imaginary people win them, and then they would re-raffle that same item basically over and over and over again.
Yeah, there were definitely problems. Definitely problems, but we've worked on stamping it out a little bit, and it's something that we clearly need to do more on. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, I think in this case, it can't just be that community leaders and people who knew what was going on say things like that they don't want to see Tom around, that Tom needs to give the money back. I think we need to also apologize for allowing it to continue. So, my bad. I didn't know about this for very long, but I did know about some of it a couple of months ago. I heard about it. And I feel bad in retrospect that I didn't do anything about it. So that's something that I want other people to be able to say too. I really feel like it's not just a Tom Brady problem. It's a scene problem, and it's something that we need to deal better with as a community.
Right. But again, that's kind of one of those things that's why we have to just, anytime people are doing any sort of donations, like, we just need to be able to watch them and make sure they follow through.
Yeah.
And, now that Tom Brady has been kind of exposed for this kind of situation, that hopefully people will talk about this more. You know, that anytime someone does do something like this, like, here's a donation drive and they don't do anything with the money, then, people will call them out, and then we'll be able to deal with it. But like you said, if anybody hears any word of it, to bring it up to somebody right away. But, here's the thing though, how would you bring it up? Like, would you just be publicly, like, on Twitter, like, hey, this guy's doing this?
I think it needs to be public, because people are saying in the chat, so for example, Pig of the Hudson here, see Fox Grandpa in here. And I have seen Pig talk about this in the past, I want to point out. But oftentimes when we discuss this stuff, it's like kind of a backroom talk, or it's not in like a major public way. I heard about it because one of my friends told me about it, right? And then I didn't tell anybody else, but that friend might have told people who he was also friends with, but we're not like out there talking about it at the time in public.
There's some people literally in the chat right now saying that they've known about it for quite some time.
There you go. Yeah, it needs to be out there in a way that is accessible, because the people who are giving Tom money, the people who just want their money back, again, I don't know, if there's people who want him to take the money, whatever, fine. But if there's people who feel scammed about this, those people didn't have the conversation that I had with my friend at a tournament I attended. That's not available to them. We need this to be more out there. It needs to be better in the public view than we have been making it.
Right. Yeah, we have a lot of people. One of the guys, King Hippo on Twitter, has been, doing a lot of blog posts, crusades about trying to make the FGC a lot better, and, calling out the fact that a lot of times people don't call out this kind of thing. You know?
No, that's true.
And, it's a weird situation too, because like sometimes you'll hear something, and sometimes it's like I don't feel like it's my business to say these kind of things, right?
That's how I feel.
And sometimes it is, right? Sometimes I shouldn't say anything, because it really is not my business to talk about some of those things.
That has to be a judgment call you make,
right? But then sometimes it also feels like you know, you don't want to just be all of a sudden jumping out and being like, what the heck, this guy, you know, like, I feel I would see it and be like, wait, can someone give me proof or, you know, or something like that? And but I don't know, like, how I wouldn't know how to tweet it out. Like, I heard this is happening. You know, like,
it can't just be pure speculation. So in this instance that I'm talking about, where one of my friends told me about something like this happening, that friend talked about it on Twitter today. What I should have done, and I would like to myself to have done that I didn't, was to ask around more. I didn't even ask more. I just heard the story, and then I was like, wow, that sucks, and then we stopped talking about it. But I could have asked more. I could have said, do you have a text message about this? Do you have an email about this? Well, he did, it turns out. We could have been doing this. And it's not the kind of thing you just go out there on an unsubstantiated rumor. That's not at all what I mean.
Now, would you...
you do need to do some due diligence when you hear about it.
Would you confront the person? Would you actually just go to Tom Brady and I heard you're doing this?
I would want to get more info first.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the time... You know, they say that...
I mean, would you go to Tom Brady and ask for info?
During that process, I would want to already know.
Okay.
I would want to already have talked with the people who have been asked to say that he was... to share their geolocation data with him so that he could say that he was at Evo with him. Right? That's not a question that just gets asked in the ether. There's like a text about it. Like that is a physical thing somewhere. It's a bit of data that you can... take a screenshot of. We could have done that, and we didn't. So Pig mentions that this is one of the first times when it's clear that he did it, and we can sort of easily prove it. But we could have done this before too.
Dude, I see some people talking about in the chat that the FGC is soft today, and we let this stuff kind of go. I actually think that's exactly the opposite.
It's the opposite, for
sure. The FGC in the past was so corrupt, like people were splitting. I still, like I said, I made it to winners finals in a tournament at Southern Hills Golfland, and then fought like 4 more people and got eliminated.
Yeah.
At Southern Hills Golfland because they didn't want me to get back to that point again. Like, I still, like, to this day, now that I understand brackets more, I'm more like, wait a minute, how did that happen? You know, like, wait, what? You know, so, like, there was, like, corruption everywhere in the... And people...
I mean, I don't know if I want to say it's everywhere.
Okay, yeah. But my point being...
It was less uncommon. Back in the day.
Exactly. So, so that's just the thing. It's like, people have to realize that we're actually being less soft now. Yeah. Because we're not letting this shit rock.
I think you're right. I mean... I think one thing that is not irrelevant to this sort of change is that we're getting a little older. There's also many new players, but I'm in my mid to late 30s, right? You're even past that. Pig's in there. Like,
thanks.
The point is, we're not kids anymore, and I'm past the point in my life where I care overly much if somebody's negative about me. That doesn't really rile me up anymore.
Right.
But if somebody is being a jerk within my scene, if they're being a jerk to my community, especially if they're part of my community, that's what riles me up nowadays. That's what still gets me going. And I've talked with other friends who have that same kind of mindset. Like, we've gotten a little bit older. It's time to sort of take care of the scene for the next generation.
Thank you, Tap2GG. Woo!
Woo! I'll be there soon. I'll be in my mid-40s soon. That's how it's going to feel for sure.
Yeah, but then
I'll be there tomorrow.
I'll be in my mid-50s by then.
Okay, yeah.
So, God, that's crazy to think about, dude. So crazy to think about. Man.
So we got work to do as a scene. And I think that this is a good opportunity to reflect on that, and try to make it better moving forward.
I talk about this all the time. Every time I see someone go, "Oh my God, I turned 30," it's crazy, and I have the same response to them every time: is that that's going to be the best years of your life because you realize you're not invincible anymore. You're not worried about protecting yourself. You kind of realize that principles are kind of a little more important sometimes, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, getting older has its benefits.
Yeah, it's crazy that, as a person who is older now, it's the worst thing, you know. Everyone's like, you'll understand when you're older, and the crazy part is you really do.
Oftentimes that's true.
You
that's
really, really, really do, and it's crazy, dude. It's crazy because, like I said, as soon as you get that first point in time where you realize you're not invincible, everything changes in your mind. Everything changes in your mind. So
I never had that mindset of being invincible.
Yeah.
My body's been falling apart since I was way too young for that.
Yeah, exactly. But you can see it in a lot of people.
Sure,
a lot of people who are young, when they're young, it's just like, this is easy. This is, of course I can do this. Oh, what? Why don't I should be getting more. You know, like you feel like the world owes you. You feel like,
I mean, I certainly felt I felt the world was easier when I was younger, even though it wasn't. No, I didn't feel invincible, but I did feel like my possibilities were more endless.
Yeah.
Maybe. And getting more perspective, I think, has been great. I'm very happy about it.
Yeah.
For me, most years have been better than the previous. Not every time, but mostly that's true. Anyway, huge tangent. I just want to conclude by saying that we need to do better as a scene.
Yeah.
And this is an instance where we're talking about it. I'm very glad that we're talking about it. We can't let it continue. If somebody wants to throw away their money, whatever, that's not up to us. But to the extent that somebody feels scammed, we need to do something.
Right. I mean, if somebody in the chat earlier said that they really enjoy Tom's streams.
Okay.
So if you enjoy his streams and you donate to it because you just enjoy him as a streamer, then that you don't have to feel bad about that. But if you were like someone who just kind of came out of nowhere, was like, I'd like to see him go. Here's some money.
Right. I want to see you play Mortal Kombat 11 in tournament at NEC.
Like
if that's what your donation's for, that's
Yeah.
bad. That was a scam.
Exactly. So
I don't know, man. Again, it's been going on for a long time. Reports are.
Yeah, but it's good that it's out there now. And, I mean, shout outs to Tom for at least admitting all of it. You know what I mean? But, I mean, he could...
It was not...
I'm not giving him, credit as...
It wasn't like he came out and just said it. He had to be sort of browbeaten about it.
Well, I guess the Thursday the 30th kind of did an
Sonic Fox did some stuff.
Never mind.
Coach Steve did some stuff. It was a process.
Yeah, okay, never mind.
He had to get blown up first.
I'll take it back. So
yeah. Even while talking about that, he was still talking about how he's the best Sub-Zero. That's not good. The stream was not funny to me. It's not funny watching somebody fall apart like that. I don't like it.
Yeah. So
it's not good.
then I will rescind that and give credit to Sonic Fox and Coach Steve and everybody else who helped put it out there in public. So yeah.
For sure.
So I guess at that point, there really is no way to deny it, right?
No, yeah.
Thursday the 30th, they just messed up on their receipt. They doctored their own receipt to send to me from this program.
Well, that's what we're talking about, right? I mean, what's the punishment? As a scene, don't have a mechanism for that. So is this an impetus where somebody would ban him from their tournament? Maybe.
Right.
Maybe.
Yeah, and again...
But that's up to an individual TO.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Man. Oh, man.
No, you know what? I think I'm going to retire the Tom Brady stream layout. I think it's hilarious. That's like my favorite stream layout.
Which one?
Where I'm playing from the passenger side of my car in a New Jersey gas station.
Wait, that's a Tom Brady
Did
thing?
you not know that?
No!
Yeah,
I had no idea what
that is a reference to his video where he yells about Sub-Zero and how he is going to be the best in tournaments now because he's not going to play Sub-Zero anymore, and a lot of other things. It's a very big rant. Mm-hmm. But that was a video that he made in his own car from the passenger side of a gas station.
I had no idea I had no idea that that's what the reference was. I just thought it was like a clever little design that you made.
Nope.
Oh man.
So I really like that stream layout, but it's probably time to move on, I guess.
Okay, fair enough.
All right. Well, I guess that's it. If there's anything else to say, do you have anything else? No.
I mean,
I'd love to. I don't know. At this point, I mean, he's 40, right? The time for him to have been better is a long time ago.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know what we can do about that. I hope that he does change and get better, but
yeah. I mean, the only thing I'll tack on there is that I mentioned him a little bit earlier, but I know King Hippo's been trying a lot to change a lot of things in the FGC. What is it? It's not King Hippo. It's King Hippo's number or something or other. His account.
Hello.
King Hippo 42.
Okay.
Okay. Must be a fan of. I was almost called it Guardians of the Galaxy. Shoot, what is the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy? Yes, there you go.
I wouldn't be surprised knowing that guy.
Yeah, but he had some recent good blog posts. Definitely check him out. I'm surprised he has as few followers as he has.
Yeah, he's got a lot of good posts, I'd say.
Yeah. So there you go. So.
But again, this has got to be a scene wine thing. So let's all do better.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. All right. What are the viewer?
Oh yeah, that's right. Let's talk about viewer topics here for 5-5 matchup. We got some good ones.
Okay. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to look at any.
You know what we should do is, can you put this on screen? We should have just been doing this the whole time. Actually,
no problem.
I'll read them out too because I know people listen to this as just a podcast.
Yeah, of course. But it'll just be good to see them.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see.
Anyway, look, I hope the guy changes. Of course, doesn't seem super likely now, but I hope that's true.
Right.
All right. Well, each week we allow people to give us topic ideas for this, and then we gather them all up and we put them out on a poll, and we allow our subscribers via Patreon and Twitch to vote on their favorites, and we will discuss the topic for the one that gets the most votes. Yep. If this is something you'd like to contribute to, anybody can give us topics, but if you want to vote, then you got to give us that sub on Patreon or Twitch.
That's right. And so here are the questions that we have. Number 1. Does the FGC Twitter blow the whole simplifying fighting games things out of proportion? Do people act too negative? We just kind of answered that. We kind of did it, yeah. Yeah. So 2, would you want SFV CE to allow both V skills and both V triggers at the same time?
Dang.
Okay. 3, what's the worst FG fighting game comeback mechanic, and why is it the Street Fighter 3 parry? Wow. Did I submit this question? Jeez. What do you think about Genuine Gaming keeping their players Atif Butt and Awais Honey from playing against Knee in Pakistan a week before the Tekken World Tour Finals?
We talked about that kind of.
5, what were the most brilliant / interesting mechanics or gameplay features that you've encountered in your fighting game life? Why did they work then? Would they still be interesting today?
Oh, you mean Third Strike Parry?
6, why is it... So you entered a question too. No, I was kidding. 6, why is it cool to hate on mainstream titles, especially Capcom? Because internet.
Wow.
7, which old game is viewed through the most rose-colored tinted glasses? Why is it CBS 2? What is with these people with these leading questions here? Leading questions, dude. 8, what do you think about Momochi finally accepting the JeSU Pro license? We're probably going to talk about this no matter what.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
9, do you think there should be a worldwide invitational of first to 10 sets? Would that show who's the best better than a normal tournament? Tokido has said he thought he was close to being the strongest until Taigo beat him in a first to 10.
Mm-hmm.
And then if there was an all FGC commentator fantasy fighting game, what style would you want it to be? Street Fighter, anime, NRS, 3D, etc. And what would your character archetype be?
Wow.
That's an awesome question, actually.
All right. So let's give the results. The one that we're going to be talking about, because we might as well do it here, but we were definitely going to talk about it anyway, is what do you think about Momochi finally accepting the JeSU Pro license?
Okay.
So that's what everybody wants us to talk about. All right, fair enough. We will do so. The news is that Momochi has accepted a pro license under the Japan Esports Union. I haven't seen much more info than that. I tried to do a little bit of a digging, and I could only find that his name just appeared in the list of people who had licenses.
Right, yeah.
It's not like he put out like a press release, right? Just that his name like appeared in that context. So yeah, all right. We assume that as a result he has the license.
Yep. I mean,
the backstory to this is that he did not want to get a license for a long time. The even further backstory to this is that the JeSU Pro license exists as a way to allow Japanese fighting game players or pro gamers, whatever, to earn money in a way that they legally may not be able to otherwise.
He did,
dubiously. Unclear.
He did have a stream where he talked about it. I don't know what he said, But he said,
just recently he did?
Yeah, like after it happened, he said something about like, oh, I'm gonna have a stream where I talk about it a little bit.
Oh,
I don't know if anybody in here saw the chat or saw what he said.
And you mean just recently, right? Not like a while ago?
Yeah, like just really quickly, just right after it was announced.
Oh, my bad.
Didn't
see that.
Yeah, so someone says he spoke about it for an hour.
Oh.
I don't know what he said,
okay.
unfortunately. I didn't
tried to find out, and I guess I mean, did not work
honestly,
out.
He's in the Capcom Cup. And if he can win that, that's a life-changing amount of money.
Yeah.
He's married. He's got a lot of stuff that I feel like probably that's just really what it comes down to.
I would think so too. So again, getting this license is the way to make sure that you, as a pro gamer in Japan, can earn money that otherwise might be limited to you. I spoke with a Japanese esports lawyer about this, and to them it was not so clear that it was required. But anyway, it seems like the Japan Esports Union has a lot of power, and so even Momochi has now gotten into it. He, in part, didn't want to do it because he felt like it was sort of gatekeeping. He didn't like the fact that it was this overarching company deciding things instead of the FGC grassroots sort of figuring it out by itself. I understand if the reason is just financial. There is a tremendous amount of money on the line at Capcom Cup. And even though Capcom Cup is here in the United States, if you're a Japanese player who wins it and you don't have a license, you don't get all the money, right? That's in the rules. That's in the rules itself of the Capcom Cup. So if he wants to get the money, he needs to have the license. And at some point, I mean, as an individual, you just don't have enough bargaining power.
Right.
And if Momochi staying out of the license wasn't killing the license. He tried it for a couple of years, and it just didn't do the thing that I think he wanted it to do.
Didn't bring any attention. Everybody was still joining the license.
It did bring attention, right? I mean,
someone even said his students were still accepting licenses.
Yeah,
it was bringing attention, but it just wasn't changing anything.
That's right. It just wasn't changing anything. So having tried that experiment for a couple of years, I get it. Just in terms of the balance of power, it's just too great, right? As one person, you don't have that much authority in these instances, and he tried it, and it didn't work, and it's just really hard to give up that much money. It's just impractical. You know, I mean, for any of us to sort of make the demand that he continue to not make that much money, it's just unreasonable.
Yeah,
it's
no.
just selfish.
If anybody looks at him and is like, "What? You sold out?" Like, dude, come on. Man's got to eat, right? I mean, that's just what it comes down to at this point in time.
Yeah, I mean,
Momochi is not the problem. Right?
Momochi is not the problem. Yeah, for sure. It's the laws that is the problem. It's the law that's the problem. And it's even more than maybe the letter of the law. It's the implementation of the law. Yeah. As far as I understand it, that is the problem that allows this to even be an issue in the first place. Yeah. My speculation has always been that part of the reason for the JeSU license is to get control over the players.
Right.
That it's not like there's nothing kind about it. It's more that the people who run JeSU, which are literally like Capcom and other big publishers, that they're the ones who want to control who can be a license holder or not, because that gives them market power. And I really think there's more of this explanation than the like absolute legal need to have this. So, you know, they do have market power. It's obviously been established. Even Momochi is given into it now. And it just feels like it's set at this point. I don't know how you get around it now.
Yeah. It's too established. Every game is doing it now. Tekken has it. You know, the JeSU license, even DBFZ has it now and everything. Yeah. It's like I said, he's made a lot of noise about it. It just... nothing's come out of it. Everybody's still being like, "Oh, right. I got my JeSU license. Let's go."
Right. Yeah. I mean, there have been articles written about it here and in Japan. We've talked about it many times on our little show, but it's also been dealt with in much bigger avenues than our thing, and nothing changed. So it sucks. It definitely sucks. But yeah, I in his position, as ideological as I like to feel that I am, could I turn down $50K for that? I mean, that's. I don't know. Probably not. Right? Who could do that?
Yeah. I mean, he already has. He's already given up $50K. Yeah. So, yeah. He's already turned it down. It's Evo just Japan, right?
Right. So hard to ask. And
the Japan major. He won the Japan major, and that was one of the super premieres. Remember? Indeed. So, yeah, he had to give up that money, and all he got was like a monitor or something like that. So.
Hey. I don't blame him at all. I just think it's a bad situation, and it's the kind of thing that you would need.
That's right. He did get the money from Evo Japan. That's right, because that one wasn't under the JeSU stuff.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot. Okay. Anyway, it's the kind of thing you need a union for.
Yeah.
Right. Like you cannot bargain against the ownership by yourself.
Yeah.
Like, centuries of labor history is all about that, right? You just don't have that authority, even if you're one of the big fish.
Yeah, I don't think he's actually going to get any of the back pay. I would love him to, but he's definitely not going to.
Seems unlikely. And is a union plausible? Probably not.
Yeah.
Certainly under U.S. law. I don't know how Japanese law works about that stuff, but in the U.S. context, there's no requirement that, like, Capcom bargain with the players because they're not employees.
It's not really even hard to get a license. It's just the company that runs the game is like, here's a license.
Yeah, basically. They can give out a license, right? So they give out licenses to people just because they think they deserve it, but also they've given out licenses to people who win tournaments.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
I don't know that I've seen...
The first few people who got licenses for Street Fighter V, it was just their decision. They just gave it out to... I think they gave it out to the top-ranked Japanese players.
That is what it is,
the CPT, yeah.
I'm not aware of them withholding a license from anybody who otherwise deserves it. Like, I know they weren't withholding it from Momochi. Momochi just didn't want it. I don't know that there's any other instance of them, like, withholding it. But they just still, as a result, have a lot of power.
Right. I mean, it's fortunate, at least, that you don't have to apply and pay money to maintain the license. But still, there's just control over it, right? They're basically, by accepting the license, you are now under their rules, basically, kind of situation.
Yeah,
so.
And you never know. Maybe they will withhold. You don't know how the future will go.
Right.
But that's giving a lot of power to people who are not really FGC. It's a bummer.
What if your sponsor had a clause to receive a portion of the winnings? Would that over...
Almost all of the major player contracts have that clause nowadays. Mm-hmm. There was a while where that was not true, but it used to be true, then it wasn't. Now it mostly is. So yeah, I assume that the teams can earn money as a result. Why not?
Interesting.
In Japan. Definitely that happens in the US.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation, but, you can only do so much if it's not gaining any traction, unfortunately. So at this point in time, there's probably better ways to fight it. You know what I mean? Like, for example, winning the money and then just being like, this should be, like using that as the platform to talk about.
Okay, so you, win Capcom Cup. You have a license. You take the money. And then the next month, you go onto the steps of City Hall and you burn your license.
Not quite like that, but more like this is what I had to give up to be able to do this. This shouldn't be the way that I earn the money. Blah blah blah, the kind of thing like that. Like I had to accept this because the way that the laws work. Blah blah blah. Kind of things like that. So yeah. Revoke it after you win.
Well, I don't know. I mean, Gentle Snow is making a joke saying turn pro in NRS games. The scene's not really there, but in addition to that, even if tomorrow somehow it was the case that there was a big NRS player scene there, NRS itself, or WB, doesn't have that kind of representation in Japan. Mm-hmm. And so would there even be that pro license extended to a fighting game competitor?
Right.
The fighting games so far who have the licenses are all Capcom and Bandai.
Right.
I don't know if they would allow a competitor. I really don't know. I hope so. But yeah, this is not a great example because there just is not a big MK scene in Japan. Right. Okay. Anyway, all right.
Well, is there a particular question that was the UltraChen choice?
The UltraChen one, huh? Well, we did address a couple of these already.
Yeah. So there's the SFV having both V skills and both V triggers. What's the worst F fighting game comeback mechanic? What do you think about genuine gaming? We talked about that one, about a teeth butt and a wise honey. What were the most brilliant, interesting mechanics? Why is it cool to hate on mainstream titles? Which old game is viewed through the most rose-tinted glasses? Do you think there should be a worldwide invitational of 1st to 10 sets? And then with 0 votes, if there was an all FGC commentator fantasy fighting game, what style would you want it to be?
Dang, nobody wanted to hear about that. And also, I want to point out, nobody voted for what's the first fighting game comeback mechanic and why is it the SF3 parry. Thank you to everybody for not giving in to that baited question. Thank you.
Yeah.
Much obliged.
I don't think it's the worst fighting game comeback.
The worst fighting game comeback mechanic is Pandora mode.
Yeah, that's probably... Well, that's in terms of the quality of it.
Yes.
Because it sucks, right?
Because it's bad.
I think what the question is asking is what's the worst one in terms of like a blue shell. Like, this is just rubber banding. Because parry obviously is not a bad comeback mechanic. It's actually an excellent comeback mechanic. It's not really a comeback mechanic.
Yeah, it's too much. Right, it's more than that, honestly, right?
But I think it's more like what's the most blatantly like here's free power comeback mechanic. You know, kind of like how everybody was mad about ultra combos in Street Fighter 4.
They were indeed. Yeah, when SF4 came out, there was an uproar about ultras. You get what? Just for getting your butt kicked?
Yeah.
Are you serious? You get this much of a damaging combo?
Yeah.
Because I'm beating you?
Yeah, X Factor Level 3 is a pretty good one, actually. X Factor Level 3 was kind of a
I think
silly
it's probably
one.
X Factor.
Yeah, X Factor Level 3 is so blatant. However, I even said this on my chat yesterday. GC Yoshi put out a tweet. He was like, when I think back on it, with all this talk about dumbing down games, UMVC 3 was like the best game ever. Because like it was so simple, yet at the highest levels it's like super complicated and it's fun for everybody and everything.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I couldn't even argue with
No,
him.
it's an all-time great.
I think UMVC 3 might be one of the best fighting games ever.
I think you're right.
I
think you're right, dude.
In some weird ways. I was like, yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah, so
I agree. Now, X Factor, it's probably the strongest. But the thing is that it's also maybe the worst because it was just like not apportioned well. Right? So, okay, Virgil's ridiculous, right?
Strider was like
there's a few characters that are just like wild times.
Right.
Other characters just didn't get the benefit. Like Hulk and Thor just didn't get a speed boost at all.
Yeah.
They just like didn't balance it that great. Like if they had that same idea, but they balanced it across the characters a little bit differently.
They should have just made it so that it was universal for everybody. The reason why I'm always worried about those kind of balancing mechanics is it's always their initial opinion.
Right.
And I've already said this, if you can go into a game knowing what your tier list is right away, then you've made a bad fighting game, right? They probably thought it would be too broken if Hulk and Thor got a speed boost.
Maybe, yeah.
And
maybe it would have been.
I don't know, right? Yeah, exactly. But, to be honest with you, like, Virgil is like the silliest thing ever. I mean, I remember it was Maximilian who told me that the reason why he hates Virgil so much is because he's everything that Strider should have been. Because the Gucci belt was Ouroboros for level 1.
Sure.
He has all the range, and Strider does not have the range. And like everything that they were scared of Strider, they gave to Virgil.
Right, okay.
And he was always like, come on.
I can see that.
Yeah, so he was always kind of mad about that. So, and I was like, yeah, actually, it's really true.
Yeah, it's probably X Factor. That's the wildest. I mean, I'm not essentially opposed to the idea of comeback mechanics. I don't want particularly strong ones, but like the idea of X Factor is okay for me.
Well, also because you
just
can
the
use
implementation
X Factor
of it
at the very beginning.
Yeah, right. There's other uses. Yeah. So the idea of X Factor is fine. Did you need to have X Factors level 1, 2, and 3? And did 3 need to be extra wild and last that long and got damage boost
and also be an alpha counter and be
so many things, right? Yeah. But the idea of it is okay to me.
Right.
So I'm not opposed to the comeback mechanics. I just don't want super strong ones. That's all.
So is that the question we ended up answering?
I guess we
anyway?
did. Yeah.
Sorry, no one voted for it, but we still answered it anyway.
I actually kind of wanted to talk about why it's cool to hate on mainstream titles.
Okay, sure. Let's do that. And because we answered that 0 vote question, I'm going to answer the other 0 vote question.
Okay.
I think if we had an all FGC compensator fighting game, what style would it be? I think it would be sick if we all had our own styles and somehow we were able to blend it together.
Dang, okay,
Like there was one person with NRS buttons that had a block, and did stuff, and another one was more like a Smash Brothers character.
That would be awesome, actually,
and then there was one really neutral, heavy, more
Definitely,
Street Fighter character. If somehow you could make it work, that's how I would do it. So.
I guess I'd be the NRS one.
Yeah, probably. So,
yeah.
I don't know what I'd be at this point in time, so...
I'm
Not very.
An NRS commentator. So
oh man. Yeah.
Anyway. In conclusion, why is it cool to hate on mainstream titles, especially Capcom? This is a question asked from the perspective of somebody who doesn't get out of the Capcom bubble, is what I think. Every game gets hated on, and if you're somebody who only is in the bubble of your game, then the stuff that you hear about is that your game's getting crapped on. But there are people in your scene who are also crapping on all the other games, and you just don't hear about it. There's just this blindness to things that you aren't yourself experiencing, that aren't like right up front. I really think this is an example of that. I don't think it's true at all that Capcom it's cool to hate on mainstream titles like Capcom. I think instead that games get hated on. Capcom is traditionally in North America the biggest publisher, the biggest fighting game developer, so we see it more. I really think that's it. I don't think it's like anything that is a major deal other than that. I think it's Capcom player privilege to have seen this in the light of a Capcom player who only sees the hate against Capcom.
I mean, I think it's kind of true. I do think there's a little bit of truth to it, because I feel like MVCI got slaughtered by social media. Like, I feel like that game in particular.
Remember how ugly it was?
It was a very ugly game.
So if we're talking about
fun.
Yeah, the gameplay was great. If we're talking about super unforced errors, yeah. Okay. Is that what this guy's talking? Is this guy talking about Street Fighter V having a rootkit? Is that what he means in this question? Right. I don't think so. I think this is divorced from the idea of, SF5 when it launched didn't have an arcade mode, right? Like it's the other stuff he's talking about now, and if it's just that he's upset about people being mad for things that they should be mad about, then that's silly.
Find a new rival.
Maybe, but I mean, I also do think that there's more acceptance of hating on Street Fighter V than there is on a lot of other games.
I don't know.
It feels that way to me sometimes. So, because I every time I sit here and I say good things about Tekken, and I say good things about Soul Calibur, I say good things about BB Tag, I say good things about Dragon Ball or whatever like that, people are always like, yeah, that game is cool. That game is really cool. And then I'm like, hey, I really like Street Fighter. And then I always get, why? And I always get people being like, oh, you're a shill for Capcom. Or I always get people like, this game sucks. Like, that happens clearly more when I say good things about Street Fighter than when I say good things about other games. So, I mean, I do think that there is a little bit of, that existing. So
I think that to the extent that that's true, it's more to do with Capcom actually screwing up in the past, plus the fact that, like I said, Capcom is traditionally the biggest developer here, so it's the game that we think about more often, and we're kind of in this bubble where it's the game that matters the most. It's not really true if you go from the other games, from the perspective of other games. If you ask an NRS fan which series gets ripped on the most, it's NRS. If you ask, I would say maybe a Calibur player before this year, they feel like they got dumped on for a long time. But we hear about Capcom the most because I think it's just the thing that we see and play the most.
Well, yeah, that is a big chunk of it, is that it was the top dog for a long time. It was the main thing, and so that's why you're going to get the more fervent and more passionate
I think that makes sense
about it. Yeah. So I mean,
DOA gets dunked on constantly. That's true.
Yeah. So you're not saying that everything gets dunked on equally. You are saying that Capcom gets dunked on a little bit more,
totally,
because they are the okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I thought you were saying.
I'm not sure they get dunked on much more, like per person or whatever, per viewer, but there's way more than for other scenes. So you just see it more.
Right. Yeah. But like I said, I mean, even when I try to say good things about other games, I get mostly agreeants from people or just support.
But if you watch streams that those games are on,
that's a different story. Twitch chat. I just think is just like you can't use that as a basis for everything, for anything. I'm sorry, for a large portion of it, because it's a self-perpetuating cycle of anger, right? Because you will get the people going in and talking smack about other games, which will spur them to talk smack about your game, which will spur them to talk smack while they're watching a game that they shouldn't even be watching and stuff like that. Twitch chat is...
Not you guys, you're all cool.
Yeah, except for the UltraChen chat.
Everybody here's cool.
This chat is awesome, dude. This chat is awesome.
Anyway.
But the rest of Twitch chat, they all suck, you know,
right.
kind of thing. Yeah.
All right. Anything else to say here?
No. I think that's all good.
All right. A few other things to discuss. My God, there's actually a ton to discuss.
Are you serious?
Broly DBS, last character of season 2 for DBFZ is coming out.
Okay.
Coming out a few days.
Yes,
cool.
Yes. They showed a new trailer for him at that Japan tournament.
Indeed.
And again, seriously, one of that effect that they have on that super is still just like I still can't process how they did that. Cool. I still can't process how they did that.
I highly agree. In Granblue Fantasy Versus, they showed Lowain.
Oh, I didn't see that.
It's right there.
Okay, I'll take a look at it later. So
they have showed him a little bit before, but they showed a little bit more this time.
They also Giuna retweeted something that showed that the characters now will have different weapons.
Right. Yeah.
That they'll be able to change the weapons, which is actually huge when it comes to the Arc system, the ArcSys graphics.
They've never done that.
Yeah, they, because it's too hard.
Right.
It's just too hard, but they're figuring out how to do it with the weapons. So now that means they may be one step away from being able to do it to costumes. You know what I mean? But we'll see how that works.
That would be super cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it's very fitting with side game stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
With Granblue, really, to have that kind of option. That's cool. In Street Fighter V, they showed off more of the V-Skill 2s.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
So we've now seen Blanka, Alex, Kage, and then more depth on Poison and Cody's.
Yeah, Blanka got his Ultra 2.
He did.
It's
he has
literally
to
Shout of
Earth.
I haven't seen the details, so I don't know what kind of charge up it is. They just showed him unleashing it. They never showed him charging it.
He just does a stance and he charges up, and then you can. Looks like you dash cancel it.
Yeah, I guess you can actually hit the whole floor. Or it hits the whole floor.
Yeah, once you.
Or something.
I don't know that they showed full screen, but they did show pretty far away.
Oh wait, they did have an in-depth for Blanka.
Right.
I haven't seen that one yet.
There it is.
I'll go watch it later then. Okay.
Yep, they put that out today, I think.
Oh, okay. That was earlier today. I haven't checked a lot of stuff.
It's
today,
cool.
So okay, I'll take a look at that.
Yeah.
Alex,
it's at least nice for Blanka that he has a way to for sure charge some V meter.
Okay.
Because he can't really do that now. If you think about it, right? Like he doesn't get that unless he's in a combo.
Right. Mm-hmm,
or if he's like about to build the last hit of V meter to like then cancel it. You know.
Yeah.
So now he at least gets to do that. By the way, thanks to Hyphen for the sub.
Yep. And Alex is interesting.
Yeah.
He's got another one where he charges up again. They seem to be obsessed with this charge up concept here.
They do.
And then he can cancel specials into special, right? Now, someone said to me in my chat yesterday, oh, you're just going to put the Blanka one on?
Yeah, just so you can see it.
Okay.
It's linked in the chat.
Yeah,
so he does the thing, and he does the full thing, and it
becomes stronger,
that's mostly
basically.
Full screen.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. He has a funny little dance afterwards. That's funny.
Yeah, and then here's, I think, is the charge dash cancel, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, anyway.
But someone mentioned to me about Alex was, what if you could do it on whiff?
Yeah. So the interesting stuff is the ability to maybe do it on block or whiff. Those are the cool ones, because then if you could do that, you could do theoretical cool stuff like
Stun gun
full screen, elbow into stomp or into stun gun, right? For the mix-up that gives you.
Someone was saying do stun gun if they jump away, cancel into the the knee drop.
Right. So if on block or whiff, then I think it would be really cool for Alex that he gets to cancel special move into special move. But I really doubt that. They only showed on hit.
Right, yeah.
And I
just... But there's no in-depth yet.
No.
There's no in-depth video yet. Alex didn't have it in-depth.
Yeah. So I hope that's true. I just do not expect it.
Right. And then in Kage, and then the section for Kage, they showed that Ryu's crouching medium kick might be farther.
Might be, yeah.
That would have been a tricky way for them to, like, hey guys, nudge, nudge. Like, so Hi-Fi actually tried to recreate it exactly in Street Fighter V current version. I still feel like that the one that blocks it is like 1 pixel closer, but it still might be true.
Maybe.
It still might be true. So
maybe. Yeah, don't take that as gospel. We'll see if that's true.
But Kage has they gave him Felicia's Delta kick.
Oh, yeah, I guess
that's what I said, because he even goes up in the air like, whoa, and then he dives down. So I was like, okay. Yeah. Or Colossus is super anyway. Yeah. Bam!
I feel like I've seen that move in a lot of games.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's got that. That probably won't be safe.
It doesn't look like it.
Right. Just that the utility of that move, if it were safe, is
it's kind of good.
Be pretty good.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. For Poison, they talked more about it. It's a little flippity forward kick that she can do an attack kick out of if she wants to. She doesn't need to. So she has the option to just use it for movement or for combos.
Yeah, which, I mean, a lot of the Poison players seem really excited about it. So, cool. Yeah, because then they said they can get out of the corner maybe a little easier now. Right. So that's a big deal for them.
Yeah, like what if Rashid starts doing a whirlwind and then you just go forward, right? You're just out of there.
Now, here's a question. Did they ever show this in any of the videos of canceling the kick into a V-trigger activation?
They didn't show it.
That would be huge.
That would be big.
If you could, like, you're next to someone and you just roll pow V-trigger activation. They're in the corner now.
Sure. Oh, that would be really cool.
Yeah. That would be really, really huge. So
yeah, we'll see. They're continuing to show more V skills. Most days they show a V skill or they put a little video out on PlayStation or whatever.
Okay.
All right, we talked about most of that. Evo Japan. We talked about this a little bit in the context of Soul Calibur 6, where it will be on the Pro Tour. But in addition to that, the signups for it are getting pretty wild. Smash Ultimate currently has almost 3,000 people already signed up.
And they're capping it.
And they're going to cap it at 3,072. They're going to cap Smash Ultimate. All other games combined have under 2,000. So Smash is killing it compared to everybody else. Killing it out there. That's so cool.
We all welcome our new Smash overlords, dude.
I knew about that, man. That's been happening. That's been happening.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we'll see if all those players show up.
Right, of course, because it's free entry. Yeah, so
we'll see if they all show up. But certainly the interest is gigantic. Okay. What else? I mentioned that I thought the finals were this weekend. I guess they already happened.
Yep.
Ooh, here's some news. Zero is moving to Facebook Gaming for streaming. Put out an announcement for it on YouTube.
I wonder if I got demonetized.
I think that's so funny.
Oh, man.
Anyway, he's moving over to Facebook.
I mean, instead of Twitch. Did Facebook pay him a lot of money for that?
I mean, I wasn't involved in the deal, but yeah,
you got to imagine,
I can definitely tell you yes. You don't give up your whole audience for no reason.
It's true.
You do it because you got paid the big bucks. 100%. You got the big bucks.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, as we were talking about with, what was it, the JeSU license, one player doesn't have so much bargaining power that they can make or break any streaming service or whatever the thing is. So if you want to just take the money, I totally understand. But I also am rooting for Facebook Gaming to fail because I don't like Facebook.
Yeah.
Now, there's no ethical winner, right? This service is owned by Amazon, the one that we're streaming on. We mentioned this before, right? Mixer is owned by Microsoft. Google has YouTube. Like, none of these are...
They're owned by
clean in any sense.
What is it? I saw a picture of like the 8 richest people in the world own over half the world's money.
Hey, cool, great. So we're here.
They're all part of this, right?
Yeah, they're doing that.
Zuckerberg is one of them. Bezos is one of them, and Bill Gates is one of them. So all the streaming services are part of that. So.
Hey, Zero's moving over there. And again, from his perspective, the individual offered the chance. Yeah, I get it. Take the big money if you can. It's just not a great trend. I'm very happy to have the idea of competition in streaming, of course.
It's just
don't like that particular one.
Yeah, and none of them are winning against Twitch anyway.
I really doubt it. I really super doubt it. But
it's interesting.
I hope so. I hope that there's competition.
I mean, it's interesting, right? Because I mean, it always depends, right? Because when Friendster first came out, it was a big thing, and then MySpace came, and then was like, haha, the second one always does it better. And I thought MySpace was going to be the one that did it. Then Facebook came and just murdered it, basically, right? So there always is a chance for it to get taken over. But I feel like once they get established enough, like MySpace was established maybe for 2 years, 3 years.
Right.
But Facebook's been around for like a decade
15 years.
Yeah, so it's probably not going
to I've actually been on it for 15 years.
Dude, by the way, I
joined in 2004.
I just want to say this. I just got a notification on my Facebook that we are celebrating our 10-year Facebook friendship.
I saw that.
Yeah, yep. So I wanted to tweet that out. I keep forgetting to. I was just like, this is one of my most important relationships that I've ever made in my life. So that's awesome.
For sure.
10 years Facebook friends. Yeah. Right. We are old motherfuckers.
I know. Oh, man. Well, like I said, I've been on there for 15 years, so, that's not so bad. Yeah, anyway, that is cool for sure.
Yeah, very,
the thing is that I like some aspects of Facebook. I just don't like the other aspects where they're like a disinformation factory. Like, if they were to clean that stuff up, then fine, but they refuse to do it. So that's my issue. Yeah, we'll see.
The question is, who owns Twitter? Is that Jack dude, right?
He's the founder of it.
I
don't really know the ownership structure.
But the person who owns Twitter isn't one of those like super rich internet guys. Yeah, okay.
Wow, he's probably rich, but he doesn't have $100 billion.
Right, he's not one of the top 8 guys who own over half the world's money.
I don't think he is. Yeah, Jack McDude.
Jack McDude. That's 100% his name from now on.
Jack McDude.
Jack McDude.
Rich, but not mega rich. And yeah, 645. It'd be nice if we had a calendar app that didn't turn grandma into a white nationalist. Yeah, it would. It would be. All right. Anyway, congrats to Zero. Friends with Dick, yeah.
Richard Dick. Who did I think was named that? I don't even remember
Philip
now.
K. Dick.
That's right. Oh, God.
Oh, Richard Dick. All right. That was James.
Yes, it was me. It was definitely...
Anything else to say about Zero and Facebook?
No. I actually didn't even know about it. So.
Oh, yeah. He put out the news, I believe, today. He announced it on YouTube and then linked it to everybody on Twitter.
Yeah, like I said, I've been busy all day. I haven't had a chance to check the social media, so I've been out of the loop today, so...
All right. In cooler news, all Street Fighter V characters have now been used to win tournaments at some level, somewhere in the world.
Yeah.
At some local or major, whatever it may be.
Non-CPT event, the High Fight said specifically. Non-CPT event, every character has won a tournament.
Yeah.
So High Fight...
So again, like whether locals or not.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Yeah, every character. He said Sakura was the last one. And Kusanagi finally did that in Mexico. He won with Sakura. And so every character. Has won
I think that's really cool. And it's like, that's my understanding of the game. That's my feeling about the game. That it is actually pretty balanced. But when you are at this super high level, $100,000 is on the line, at that extreme point, I feel like that would make anything warped. Like, regardless of how balance the game is, that warps it. Like, you see it even in Tekken, right? People were playing Akuma while he was like, you see it, and it makes sense from the player's perspective.
Said, like, you take all those Third Strike fanboys, all the ST fanboys, you give them a $250,000 tournament. You see how happy they are that Zangief sucks.
Oh, I'm playing Claw.
Yeah, 100%. I wouldn't be playing Cammy.
Of course.
Why would I the hell I'd be playing Cammy? Why would I be limiting myself like this? Jeez,
you know. I would like to earn $100,000.
Yeah, exactly. It's a completely different thing. Yeah. It's a completely different thing. So
find a new rival.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it just makes it so that characters who are not as strong, there's just not a reason to play them.
Right.
But the strength that they have, I think, is clear, like, I think I said it somewhere else. It was like someone was talking about bad characters, and like we were talking about like Ed or whatever like that. And I was like, Ed is not even remotely close to how bad the bad characters were in the previous games. I mean, there were some characters that literally just like they just didn't exist. Yeah. That's how bad they were. You know what I mean? Not counting the joke characters.
No, you're right. Yeah.
Not even Alpha 1, dude. Like Adon. Like I don't even know what the hell they did to Adon. Everybody in that game had chain combos. For some reason, the Shoto had every chain combo in the world. Adon's chain combo was standing strong to crouching medium kick. That was the only chain combo he had.
I don't know.
I don't know why.
I don't know.
I really don't know why they were so mad at Adon. They're like, you know what? Whatever. You don't need chain combos.
I hear ya.
Yeah, that was weird. Or Adon.
But yeah, look. SF5's pretty balanced. This is, I think, a good look at that. But at the level of the top-level CPT players, yeah, if I were one of them, I'd be using one of 6 or 7 characters too. I would do the same. No. I would be playing G. G and Dictator.
G and Dictator, huh? I would be probably playing Cammy. Cammy's pretty good.
Yeah. I guess that's it.
I've got one more thing.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
I just want to talk about this really quick. The Koyo store is a store that's in the UK.
Okay.
And they have gotten the license to Street Fighter stuff. And they sent me some cool stuff.
Okay.
And so I just wanted to thank them for sending me cool stuff. By showing you some of the stuff that they sent me over here. So here you go. I have this over here. This is a Street Fighter pin set. And you can see here, they've got Street Fighter pins here. Very, very nice pins, by the way. These are all embossed and stuff like that, too. I mean, look at this. This is like embossed. This is the Furin Kazan from Ryu's belt and stuff like that. It's really, really cool. They also sent me this one here, which is Ryu and Ken, who are falling out of their place over here, and the Street Fighter logo, like so. So there you go. Wire Hell, yes. Wire Hell.
Oh my god.
Yeah, exactly. So there's that one there. And this one, of course, is for me, is like really, really cool. Is that they have the headshots from Super Turbo for... Unfortunately, not the new challengers, so there's no Cammy or Fei Long or T-Hawk or DJ. And these are more of the HD art than the actual, than the original art. But again, these are all really nice, embossed, and so if you can type in, can you type in the Koyo store, Koyo store.com in the chat? That's where you can get
KOYOstore.com.
Yeah, so I just wanted to thank them for sending me these things. They also sent me this, which is from a different group. This is from Tubbz. This is actually kind of hilarious.
Okay.
So,
woo! Thanks, Anonymous Cheer, for the bits.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Tubbz. They are making cosplay ducks.
Ducks who cosplay?
Ducks who cosplay.
What do you got here?
It's a Blanka duck.
Whoa, that's pretty cool.
It's a Blanka duck. Oh, wait. Check to see if you got the right website on there.
Okay.
Some people are saying that website is not secure, so...
I typed in KOYO store.
Did you do the or just KOYO store?
KOYO?
Oh, I think it's the.
Oh.
I think it's the. Check that one.
Okay. Oh, yeah. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. It's the. So, yeah, we got a Blanka duck over here.
Huh.
He's got teeth, too.
Does it? Oh, yeah, wow.
Look at that. Little Blanka duck here.
That's so cool.
Mess with this.
Oh, he's in a little bathtub.
Yeah, he's in a little bathtub.
That's hilarious.
And then this one is the Ken duck over here, so he's even got a flaming arm fist.
That's very cute.
Yeah, it's pretty cute. And they gave me a USB key in there too, so...
Dang.
USB
Let's go.
key. But
Quack duck. Wait. Quack pack.
Quack pack. Yeah, exactly.
That's really funny.
Yeah, so these are actually really cool. So shout outs to those guys for sending me these things here.
Yeah.
I think the pins are not available to be... Oh, no, I think they're available right now. I saw them on the store. But the ducks, I think, are coming in a little bit. So, but yeah, I'll probably be showing them these things off on the Chensor Dynasty streams.
Cool, man.
As well.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it was really cool. Thank you to them for sending me this stuff. So, you know me, I always like weird trinkets like this.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
Yeah, so I'm super happy to get these things. Yeah, so there you go. Cool.
All right, thekoyostore.com.
Ken Duckface looks better than Ken Faces.
Hey, all right. By the way, on the last Tuesday show's YouTube upload, we put an ad at the beginning of it. And I was just curious about what people thought about that.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
We would like to do that kind of stuff more often, so we tested that out, and I think it turned out well. I think the ad came out all right, and I hope that was people's impression as well. But let me know if you thought it sucked.
Some people, one person in the chat said that was a great ad, so there you go. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, that's a good question. Oh, I mean, these are nice sets here, so let me think about it.
Okay.
I was actually thinking about wearing some of these things at like Capcom Cup. I think that would be cool.
Oh, yeah, that would be cool.
But, oh, God, I'm about to drop everything on top of Jasmine here, so.
Cool, all right, thanks, y'all.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, as well as people are saying.
Did you really play the game because of the ad? All right, I gotta let them know.
Yeah, that's cool. Thank you. So, yeah.
All right.
So, I mean, hopefully we can do more of that, you know, stuff like that. So if anybody out there watching is interested in advertising on our YouTube channel, even advertising here, we don't talk about this a lot. We always just go through the stream and end. But, I mean, when we go to break, there's a reason why there's a whole blank space here, you know, in the center of the screen. Because, you know, we can run ads for you guys and everything like that. And then also there's a lot of space at the bottom. I can make more space, splash your stuff down there and everything like that. So if anybody wants to sponsor the Tuesday show, we get, you know, we peaked at like 600 and some viewers earlier today. So, you know, let us know. There you go.
All right.
There you go.
How was your Thanksgiving?
My Thanksgiving was good. I went home. I always have Thanksgiving lunch with my parents. Ate a lot of food. Wasn't very hungry, but still, I used that opportunity for strategy because I drive home.
Okay.
And I was like, wait, everybody's going to be at home eating dinner right now. And it's on my way back. So I stopped by Popeyes.
Wow.
And there was no line. And I got a chicken sandwich.
Popeyes was open?
Popeyes was open, and I got a chicken sandwich.
I hope they were paying their employees well. That sucks.
Yeah, I know. But, you know, I got one.
I don't mean to make you feel bad.
No, I mean, it's fine. But, like, I got the chicken sandwich. It was good. I like their chicken more. So if I go back, I would just get their chicken instead of the chicken sandwich. But that's just all it comes down to.
Okay.
But they didn't have the regular one. They only had the spicy one. And I'm not very good at spicy food. So that might have also had an effect on it as well. So I might go back and try the regular one of these days. So. Yeah, there you go. So,
okay.
Yep.
Well, I hung out with my family. My brothers came down from Northern California where they live with their girlfriend and wife, respectively. That was cool. And we hung out for a few days, and my brother gave me a copy of Pokemon Shield.
That's right. Yeah, I saw that.
So what happened was he got one of his friends, his birthday was recently. One of his friends gave him a copy of Pokemon Shield. Another friend gave him a copy of Pokemon Shield.
Oh, it wasn't even him being generous.
So he was like, look, guys. He goes to me and my other brother, and he's like, look, guys, I got one Pokemon Shield. One of you can have it. Duke it out. And I was like, I guess. And my other brother was like, it's all right. Literally, that was the conversation.
I'm surprised you didn't go, let's play Street Fighter for it.
No. It's, if he had really wanted it, it would have been fine.
Yeah, I know.
He didn't care, so I got it. And now I have Pokemon Shield.
Okay.
So I have caught 70 Pokemons. I don't know who their dad is yet, but I'm working.
Yeah, it's like I was going to say, should have gave it to me so I can finally learn about so I can finally play a Pokemon game in my whole entire life. So.
Well, what's cool to me, so I haven't played any Pokemon since Red, 20 years ago. And to me, it's cool to see both how different and the same it is. In some ways, it is extremely much the same. Literally, the text in some cases is the same. When you like make a Pokemon confused or whatever, it's literally the same text. But at the same time, obviously, the little world that you're in is new.
3D and everything.
Yeah, the graphics are different, obviously. And then many of the Pokemon are different. And although many of them aren't new if you have been playing Pokemon this whole time, for me, a lot of them are brand new because I just haven't played in forever. So for me, it's a lot of fun to explore. I'm really having a good time with it.
Okay.
It's way too easy, but that's how it's to be expected. Right?
Yeah. The other thing I also did this vacation was I did make sure I spent some time, and it's one of the reasons why I didn't stream during the weekend at all. Was I Marie Kondo'd a bunch of stuff in my house. Ever since Olaf moved in downstairs, and I moved all of my junk up to the guest room. The guest room floor has just not even been walkable.
Right.
Like there's literally one small path so my cats can get to their litter box. And then I finally cleaned out a bunch of stuff in a bunch of my closets that have been there forever. Threw away a bunch of old boxes and stuff really cool. like that. And then I cleaned up a bunch of the stuff. I actually threw away a lot of stuff that I've been holding on to for a very long time.
That's really cool, man.
For no reason. I do have about a 10-year-old brand new condition rollerblade.
And it's rollerblade and rollerblades.
Yeah, like legit rollerblade, size 10. If anybody in SoCal who's watching this stream wants rollerblades that are size 10 US, that are in peak condition because I've put them on once in my entire life. A friend who never used them gave them to me, and then I never used them.
Got it.
Because I was like, don't throw them away. He's like, here, take them. So I took them because they fit me, and then I never used them. So if anybody wants some rollerblades, you're more than welcome to come and let me know. So
I still got my blades. I have Bowers? How do I not remember this anymore? That was such a huge purchase for me when I got my latest hockey skates. Now I don't even remember which brand I ended up getting. That's horrible. But anyway, I have them.
All right, that's what I'll do. I'll put on the rollerblades. I'll put on my bicycle helmet. And I'll go rollerblading and live stream down the street.
Look, I mean, you don't live too far from here and stuff. You can go try it out down there. Right. It's a lot of fun.
Oh, man. Do people still blade all that much?
I've seen it.
I would also need to get knee pads and elbow pads, though, right? So.
Well, if you've never done it before, probably you should.
Yeah. I've definitely put them on and then took them off. So that's basically it. So, yeah. I have no rollerblading.
Yeah, if you've never done it, you should probably wear knee pads the first time. Yeah. They're really not that hard, but
if I could show you, I actually still have a scar on my knee from when I shred my knee off of my tricycle, basically.
James, I have literally so many scars on my knees and elbows that you can't tell. My whole elbow is a scar.
So in other words, Look at
that. It's actually true. You see this? This whole region is just all weird looking because the whole thing is a scar.
You're the elevator that they scratched all the metal so nobody can actually graffiti onto the elevator. That's right. And
they're the least important parts of your body, like in terms of the way they look, right? Nobody cares what your elbow looks like. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's just completely ripped up. Right. But because of that, you can't tell and it's fine. All I'm saying is, hey, be active. It's all good.
But I'm just saying, I've shredded my knees like on gravel before, to the point where I have reason to be scared about shredding my knees.
Oh, man, I'm seriously on gravel. Oh, I've done some weird stuff in my life, James. Not just on gravel. What I would say is if you really are going to try it...
Look, your fire coal walking days are beyond you now, okay?
I would try that.
I've actually heard that
I would definitely try that.
I think it was Mythbusters who did it.
Yeah.
And sure enough, walking on the coals was better than running on the coals.
Right. I saw that too. When you run, you pop them up more,
and you
more the
push
heat gets
down
in there.
harder on them. But when you walk, it's just soft. And when they did it, they were like, "Whoa, we could literally just walk on it."
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, wrist guards really are more important, I would say, than knee guards even, because when you fall, you always fall like this. And you really don't want to break your wrist. There's more risk that you break your wrist than that you really screw up your knee and falling. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. That's definitely more important. Anyway, All right. All good?
Yep.
Okay.
Mythbusters is lit. I was also a big Carrie Byron fan. So.
Who was not?
Yeah.
I'm going to go to...
I had a thing for redheads, so yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go play SF5 tonight.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Worlds Collide in the Valley. So if anybody is watching this show in the San Fernando Valley or can get there tonight, then there's a shindig starting at 9.
Yeah. Okay. I will maybe go. I'm not sure because it depends because I got to edit this and everything like that to get you guys the show as fast as possible. So,
all right, y'all.
There you go. All right, guys.
Have a good one.
See you guys later. Peace out and good night. And where's the bird?
By the way, I do not name my Pokemon. I just let them rock their regular names.
That's kind of boring, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a little bit out of character for me, but I also just want to know what the Pokemon's names are, and I would never know that if I named them Buttfart29. I'd never have known that.
Can't you name a second one if you get a second? Like,
yes,
if you get a repeat, right?
I just want to know them.
So you can have Pikachu and then, like Yellow Stain or something.
Yellow Stain. All right. Pikachu. Yeah, the Worlds Collide stream is on Commander Jesse's stream.
Oh, sick. Okay.
So check it out. I don't remember it offhand, but whatever. Look on Twitter. It's Commander Jesse, and then he'll have the stream there too.